Trace, what's happening, bud?
How's it going, brother?
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Ready to get after it. MMA, YouTube, MMA, Twitter, MMA community is on fire right now. Man, you already know what it is. Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, UFC 303. Man, I don't know. All right, so we posted our YouTube video earlier. Let me take a quick shout out second. Okay, so we post all of our stuff on YouTube. We put up a video today about everything known about the Conor McGregor situation over on YouTube. We thank everybody that's tuning into our YouTube. Subscribers are growing tremendously. Everybody that's tuning in over at Rumble, and of course, everybody that comes in here. So today we posted a video on the Conor McGregor situation that stated that it was going to happen on the 29th of this month. The press conference was supposed to happen on the 3rd of this month. On the 4th of this month, the press conference was called off. As of right now, there's heavy speculation as to whether or not Conor McGregor is injured. And then we posed the question of what could replace it. BMF 165 introduction. What could be big enough to fill the biggest fight card or the biggest gate in UFC history when the main attraction of a non-title fight card is potentially out. So that's the status, or that's the conversation point that we're at. Trace, do you think Conor McGregor is injured? Like, well, just gut feeling. We got nothing. We don't know no insiders, and the insiders are telling you, nobody's telling them. But you think he's injured?
Yeah, man. I mean, at this point, I think we have to believe something's going on. I mean, I seen where Mike Chandler had put on Instagram that you could find him in Tennessee. So it doesn't sound like he's going to be at the venue for 303. So they may have just scrapped that fight completely and are just planning to put it out on a later date. But yeah, as of right now, it's just all speculation, I suppose.
So the idea that press conference is postponed, I feel like we can throw that out the door. I'm not the first guy to say it, but I thought it as fast as anybody else did. They don't got time to reschedule a Dublin presser. I'm sure people would show up. I'm sure they can get jets and fly them guys over there, or fly Mike over there and everything. But my understanding was that we were going to get 3 pressers. So I don't know. It just seems like that's got to be scrap altogether.
I
So
mean, the event's in Ireland, right? It is in Dublin. So I mean, you would think for a Dublin fight, that's the most important presser of all of them. So yeah, if that's the one that gets scrapped of all of them, you got to figure the fight. At least Connor is probably out of the fight.
Well, yeah, and it's the biggest one because Connor, A, 10,000 people, sold out. B, Ian Gary's big push in front of the Irish crowd, in front of a crowd that he may never generate. 10,000 people coming to a press conference 25, 24 days, 26 days before a fight happens is absolutely insane. That's not a normal thing, bro. I've been to press conferences for huge cards. There's a couple thousand people there, man. It's not, and I'm talking huge cards. I've been to press conference for Conor McGregor cards and not had 10,000 people there. It's huge. I'm going to let Aussie comment because he threw his hand up. Nice to have you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
Always great to talk to you guys as usual. Only got a few minutes, but I'll just put this out there. Conor has got so much money, right? He's definitely independent testing, right? I can see a world where he's got an independent test and they've found something and said, "Hey, mate, pump the brakes on this fight. We can't go through a proper test. We found a little something. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And now that it's not USADA, it's an actual, someone, well, I don't know, are they really third party? I mean, they might be second party, you know what I mean? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he found something independently and said, look, we've got to pump the brakes on this fight before I get suspended. That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
It's an interesting spin, man, and I'm not hearing anybody else say that. So that's probably a good chance that it could be that as well.
Yeah, I think it's obvious to point at the leg and figure that Conor injured his leg. But the the radio silence, that to me is the biggest tell that something is wrong with that fight. I mean, I guess we don't know. So, all right, we've pretty much said all the speculation on it. There's no need to beat the dog with dead dog with a stick. So in lieu of that, someone tagged Kayla Harrison. Oh, it was Kayla Harrison. Oh, Kayla Harrison official replied. Someone tagged Kayla Harrison, asked her if she would show up to fight Amanda Nunes for the 145 strap to save the day. She said yes. I thought of Max before I heard anybody say it right away. I'm like, Max Holloway is a star. People don't give him that credit, but he is a main event star. He is a Las Vegas star. I started trying to think who you could pin Max against with the BMF, and immediately thought of the 165 belt because it's been heavily rumored. I won't say heavily, but it's been rumored consistently for probably 5-6 months now. And it was even mentioned for this card specifically. So I don't know. I think there are some options, but I don't think we are getting a champion that is currently a champion fighting on this card unless they are a BMF champion. Just my take. Who you think it's on that card? Who you think it's got to be, Trace? I didn't say it, but I think it should be Max. Max versus Ilya. They should make that happen and undercard it with the MVP Ian Gary fight. I feel like that sells. I feel like that sells a shit ton. I feel like people aren't too mad about it. That booked their trip to International Fight Week. They'll get to refund their tickets and rebuy them. So some of them will get fucked though and won't get tickets because they'll go back into the pool. But I don't know. Who you think makes that card, Trace?
I think Max would take it on short notice, but I don't really see. I don't think Ilya would be willing to jump the gun on an early fight, especially with somebody like Max Holloway, who he knows is short notice, 1 day notice, a year's notice doesn't matter. He's going to bring the fight to you the same no matter what. Uh, yeah, I don't think it would be Ilya in them, but I did tend to think Max Holloway. I thought that would be enough of a name to excite Chandler if it is Connor that's hurt into taking the fight. I think Holloway probably finishes Chandler inside the distance at some point, for probably a late TKO through due to accumulation. But yeah, I would even say Connor versus Holloway sells way better. Connor versus Holloway 2 sells way better than Chandler and Holloway does, or Chandler and Connor. So obviously, it's a lot of what ifs and a lot of situational things that have to go right for that fight to happen. But if Connor's sidelined no matter what, why not try it?
Yeah, yeah. I think Max would be the lead candidate, though. I heard DC say it. I was watching. I had it on while I was doing final prep. I had on DC and the bad guy. I don't know what it's called now, but DC and Chael. I had that on, and I heard DC saying, "I'm like, man, that bitch stole my smoke." Usman, nice to see you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
Yeah, first and foremost, I was gonna say I think it's 100% a Connor injury that's holding this up, and I think that's the only thing. But Max and Chandler is the only one that makes sense, especially if we're bringing up the whole refunds on pay per views and tickets. They have to have Chandler or Connor on the card. Um, People don't like it, but just from what we've seen, Chandler is a BMF candidate. He's taken short notice fights. He's taken some hard fights. All of his UFC fights have been insane hard fights. So he is a candidate.
And
Besides that,
he does have history with other BMF title holders as well.
yeah, besides that, the only other person I can think of, and we still have to think about weight classes too, is maybe RDA, but nobody wants to fucking see that. Max versus RDA, and that's going to be the main event for International Fight Week. Um,
No, I agree with you. We don't even need to have that conversation. Mike's staying on that card. Mike,
yeah,
he at the post where he said, "Be in Tennessee." I thought at the end of that post he said that he'll see you in Vegas, June
He
20th.
just says, "See you at the top." That's his little coin phrase or whatever. Uh, yeah, I think Maybe he means see you in Tennessee, as in they're going to have to come to him and make him an offer to keep him on that card now. That's probably that could be, like I said, it's all perception and what you think it is. But I mean that makes sense to me at least. Like you want me to stay on the card and take somebody on short notice, you're gonna fucking pay me.
Well, you got to remember it's going to be easy to find someone too right now because they're going to be looking for 155ers to fight at 170. Mike's too short, too small. He can't fight no 170 guy. I'm not being mean. He's not a 170. The guy that cuts to 170 that's ready is going to be fucking 200 pounds when he walks in there. So we know it's going to have to be a 155er that's only got to cut to 170. Therefore, that puts, I mean, a smorgasbord. I can't say I said that wrong, but a smorgasbord of fighters available to take that fight, in my opinion. And you could cherry pick anybody that's in a camp because you're cutting 15 pounds off of a weight cut that was probably only 30 pounds to begin with. Usman.
Yeah, another candidate that I was thinking, and this is just for the BMF situation because this is a somewhat of an easy fix. But I wouldn't be mad at Max Holloway versus Dan Hooker. That dude definitely throws down. He takes hard fights. He always makes them entertaining, and I think that would be a banger. But once again, we're talking about something that's gonna take over International Fight Week. It's gonna be rough, man. I think they're in a rough spot right now.
What about Money Moicano, Usman? You think he got sell power?
No, no, I don't even want to talk about that just because he don't deserve it either. Like he's
Oh,
cool,
okay.
but
Yeah.
BMF legacy, I don't know.
And Fuego, nice to see you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
Yeah, you guys know how I feel about McGregor and Chandler. I don't give two shits about these two fighters, but let's all agree though that we cannot see Jamal Hill and Carlos Ulberg as the main event. Please tell me that shit doesn't get moved to the main event of UFC 303.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt that happens. But the other thing to remember here, guys, is this is the International Fight Week card. Traditionally, not traditionally, but of recent, those of us who traditionally go have been complaining that they don't stack that card. It's not that great because they have International Fight Week. It's just like the end of a big ass event, you know. So I don't know. I don't think that's gonna be the fucking main event. They're gonna put something there, but yeah, I
Hey,
wouldn't be
so
surprised.
what about moving Shevchenko and Grasso up to 303?
Uh, yeah, people would be. I mean, as far
People
as
would be pissed. People would be
but
pissed,
but people, it would fit International Fight Week.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey Joe,
Zabet,
can you approve Usman as a co-host? I think we're mic limited already.
yeah, absolutely. Invite co-host, and then Zabet, you had your hand up, bud, and I think it got timed out.
Yo, what's good? How we doing, fellas?
What's happening, bud?
I kind of missed the question you asked, but I think you guys are talking about the Chandler and McGregor situation.
Yeah, you want to
And
give a take? Get after it.
my little take on it is, McGregor is whack for that. Chandler, he does not deserve BMF chance, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay, but my only response to that would be taking Max Holloway on 4 weeks' notice, 25 days' notice, 23 days' notice by the time it works out. Um, that isn't that what BMF is? I mean, isn't that what it is?
No, you're right, and like how I think Usman said it earlier, he puts on a great fight. Like he definitely puts on a caliber worthy. Like if someone's gonna go out bleeding, like a bloody
Oh
fest.
yeah,
But
ain't gonna
but
be no 2 second left knockout, bro. He's gonna come out swinging. Max is gonna have to do something about that shit. That's for sure.
it'd definitely be a good fight, them two. But Mac just fought, and like Chandler, he wants McGregor so bad, and now he's not gonna get it. So it's kind of down to the drain for me.
You know what's funny is we're sitting here talking about this. I would be more excited about Max versus Chandler. I'm getting excited about that fight. Swagger, I ain't had you on the mic yet, man. You ain't a regular here, but welcome to the mic. Get after it. Whatever you got on this.
Hey guys, what's up? Uh, I normally don't really bet on women's because they're so unpredictable. But oh my god, bro, this I don't know, how do I pronounce her name right? Puja Tomar. Like, she's a fucking Indian MMA. Like, I don't want to sound like racist or anything. I'm Ethiopian myself, but if an Ethiopian fighter ever went in the MMA like UFC, I would bet my whole house against him. Like, I was watching her highlights. She was getting submitted, head kick KO, all types
Bro,
of just.
we're talking about McGregor Chandler right now.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was
we
talking about.
didn't get there yet. Just hold on a little
Yeah,
longer.
Oh,
we
oh, my bad. I thought we were giving our locks for this weekend, but
no,
Oh
no,
no,
we'll
you
we'll
good,
get
brother.
there shortly. We'll get there shortly. We'll get there
Yeah.
shortly.
okay.
We got
Hey,
about 15 minutes and then we jump less than 15 minutes. We got about
but
10
bring
minutes and then we jump into the card.
but
My
bring the
bad, my
energy,
bad.
baby. But bring the energy. I'm here for it.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
timestamp this. I'm gonna let Usman take it, hand it over to Aussie, and then we're gonna take the last few minutes and we're gonna talk about other shit that's not this.
Got you. My bad, guys. This is my first time. Well, yesterday was my first time. This is my second time here.
Bro, welcome, welcome. No big deal at all. Usman.
So last thing I'll throw out there, and let me know what y'all think about it. We got to keep Chandler on the card. What about 165 title, Chandler versus Colby Covington? Colby ain't got shit fucking he ain't got nothing to fight for right now. Um, that's got to be a freaking fight that he can win if the chin holds up. Gets him
That's
that
USA
belt.
International Fight Week. They won't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
They won't. They really, really, really will not do USA International Fight Week. I think they did it one year with damn, I can't remember who John Jones fought. Oh no, it was John Jones versus Thiago Santos. He was Brazil anyway. They always bring in fucking someone, at least one person from someplace else. So I'm not trying to be a dick. I think Kobe would need to make the card though. I think you would need to get Max on that card. I think you would need to get Colby on that card, and I think you would need to have Ian Gary on that card to level out the Conor McGregor issue. Trace.
So I know Dana White said he would never make the BMF title weight specific, but is there any chance that, like, I know you had said some earlier today about the 175-pound division and or 165-pound division and that becoming a thing, and Dana White's alluded to it for some time now, but what are the chances that the BMF actually becomes the 165-pound title?
I think slowly it walks over to that. I think that's what it becomes slowly. That's a whole another hard topic, but I sincerely believe that that is where that belt heads no matter what. I was doing a piece on that, and I started a piece on this McGregor deal, and that's how that video that's going that's over on the YouTube and over on, well, I guess on the cat page. I'm not on my personal account. That's how that video came to be, was those two became one. Um,
Yeah, I hope I wouldn't step on your point there, but I just thought that was a very, 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 very impressive argument. I do like that argument for that title eventually.
yeah, it's gotta happen. Let's see what else we got here. So here's the funniest thing. It came in last minute. I don't do a ton of sound clips anymore. I, let me see how long this one is. It's over a minute. I don't want to do that. But Adrian Bonner threatened his opponent at their press conference by confessing to murder today. He was at the presser and he's like, I got motherfuckers that kill motherfuckers. I got bodies already acquitted that are on me. He, even if it's not real, you can't. We live in a day and age where somebody in a DA's office somewhere is going to start investigating that. I'm not saying if he did something, he should get away with it. I'm just saying, like, I just don't feel like this is the. I feel like this is a horrible day and age for that. We know why all of BMF went to fucking jail, because they just couldn't shut up about it. Uh,
Adrian Brunner got screw loose though for sure.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like AB becomes less likable as time goes on. I liked this shtick. I liked his tough guy. They're all tough guys for a long time, but I don't know. I just feel like he's gone down a road with it that I don't like, and this is kind of like this is it coming to a boil in my opinion. So
I think he's
whatever.
never been the same after Maidana beat his ass, bro. He's
You
gone
know,
down the same downhill spiral that McGregor went down after Khabib humbled him.
I'm honest to say that I'm a boxing casual nowadays. I grew up a boxing hardcore, and I'm a casual. I don't know if that I'm going to agree with you because I by saying I don't know, but there was definitely a point that changed him. Something changed AB at some point, and probably a fight. So I'm going to side with you and say that that's probably the spot. Jimmy Smith is returning to Bellator MMA to the broadcast team, starting with the upcoming show in Dublin in June. Good for Jimmy Smith, man. We don't got to make a topic out of that. Just good for Jimmy Smith.
Nah, nah,
Clarissa,
good for Bellator or PFL or whatever they are nowadays because their crew is terrible, and Jimmy Smith will definitely bring some class and some good information to that panel.
once that 48, once that 48, 24 months runs up and they just kill off Bellator and take who they got and move on. They could build something over there. They're in a mess right now trying to stronghold those contracts and keep the Bellator name alive and all that bullshit. Just shut it down. Continue with your PFL deal. If you've got to add super pay-per-views, just add them. But another subject. Clarissa Shields will aim to become a 4-weight world champion when she challenges Vanessa LePage for the WBC heavyweight world title on July 27th. My issue with it is I feel like there's a point where you go up enough, you can't really get back down. So are you, you know, I don't, does she currently hold all of those divisions? Is that she has them all right now, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Za threw up the 100, so I know that that's that. At some point, you can't get back down. It was Amanda going up and down, going up and down, going up and down. We knew eventually it was just going to fucking wear her out. Horiguchi revealed that the UFC has no interest in signing him. Just straight up said it. I feel like Horiguchi is someone I could understand why someone would say, why won't they sign Horiguchi? I can also understand why they're like, look, that's old MMA. That's people just hear that name and they think of something that is not exciting. I'm not dogging Horiguchi. I just feel like his name is affiliated with a more boring time in MMA. Trace.
Hold up,
Oh,
hold up, hold up. Son, Kyoji Horiguchi for that time period was one of my was one of my favorite fighters for that division. The dude was just a fucking bruiser, man. Like he could bang with you, he could wrestle with you. The guy's good. I don't understand why they don't. I don't know if it's just because the Asian market doesn't tend to do well in the UFC or what, or they're putting all their eggs in
it's
the
it's that
Tetsuya Tyro.
it's that old school lightweight flyweight mentality of fighting. It's the Demetrius Johnson. It's
Like
the
John Lineker was another one. Like I don't know why they let him go. Lineker, Hands of Stone was fun as fuck, man. He threw down through wars, but it's just like they don't value the even the bigger names in the lower divisions. It's like they want something that fits their cookie cutter perfect image over here. They want somebody that's going to be a bad boy or somebody that's going to. They don't want the guys that are just nice and humble guys. And that's what them guys are.
I
They
think there
want
was
somebody that's
too
going to be
much
controversial.
I think there was too much of it in the generation of guys you're talking about. I think in the new generation we will see guys that they want to hold on to more as time goes on. Usman, I think I might have skipped you on the last topic, bud. Get after it. Anybody waiting for the fight breakdown? We got 5 minutes or so. We'll start the card. Usman, go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm still here on the Horiguchi thing, and it's an answer to Trace now. But I think the issue is that he's just, for one, like Joe was saying, he's tied to just the old boring state of flyweight. but he's also tied to losses to Demetrius Johnson. And to be honest, he is good enough to where, in the right circumstances, he could somehow grab a belt, and that's just not going to look good. For one, it's going to be a fighter that lost in another organization who they kicked him out already. They had already cut him for him to come back at an older age and even have an attempt at a belt. It just won't be a good look on a division that came out of such a stagnant place and now is at least breathing with new, younger life. Um, yeah, I didn't think Horiguchi was ever going to have a chance coming back to the UFC.
Well, yeah, it's a
So
little
just to
bit of.
shatter that real quick,
Go ahead. You said you wanted to get after it,
I
Trace?
just yeah, I just wanted so Kyoji Horiguchi's only 33, which I guess for that division is old, but 33, 32, and 5 has beat some of the best, been champion multiple organizations, fought for the UFC. My only argument for what you're saying, like to me, kind of kills that argument for you. Is they just brought back Nick Diaz? Uh, he's
Yeah,
ancient as fuck,
but it's
and
Nick Diaz.
No, no,
That's my
just the
answer
shell,
back.
the shell of
no,
Nick Diaz.
no. So let me just what I think you got to look at too is lineage here, right? So, um, like Usman said, he's got losses to DJ. They're not gonna allow. They don't want him to come in. There was Dana White renewed his champions a few years back. I've talked about it. They are not gonna let one of them old guys come back and get a W when they've got an L to a guy in another promotion and now start that conversation of can the guys in one beat the guys in UFC? They can just avoid that by not signing Horiguchi. And let's be honest, he's a great fighter, but they cannot sign him and lose no steam over it. No steam at all. It's the same reason Tom Aspinall should never fight John Jones. We're not going to go down that road. If John Jones never beats you, you can always argue that you are better than him. You know, it's the same shit. Trace.
The only signing that matters for that division anytime in the near future that I can think of would be the acquisition of Patchy Mix. Man, that kid's gonna be a problem for a long time, and I can't wait to see him in the UFC. Uh, you got to imagine him is probably he probably isn't worried about the money as so much as some of these other fighters because he's young. You got to imagine he's willing to build the resume as well as the make the money while doing it in the UFC. That's what I'm hoping for at least.
Yeah, Patchy's. I don't know. He's a unique character when it comes to the way that he lets himself get viewed, like in the public eye. I often wonder if he is going to get Tatiana to go with him over there, or if she is going to get him to switch over to the UFC. But inevitably, they're going to fight in the same place, in my opinion. I think he has a little bit of a complex too about not wanting it to look like my girlfriend got me into the UFC. Here, listen to this sound clip for 30 seconds. Because my niggas got guns with them, bro. And I'm dead serious, bro. And all I got to do is point and they gonna blow. And I'm dead serious, bro. Nigga. And me and my nigga, we done already beat bodies and they still looking for me. Adrian Bonner is dumb as fuck. Roman Spigal paid $95,000 for at an auction for what is being called the Charles Oliveira experience. $95,000. He gets to watch him train during camp. He gets to be with him post weight cut fight day. He gets to be there during the weight cut. He gets 2 tickets and 2 flights to the event. I mean, I guess if you can just blow 95 grand, fuck it. I read that he bought another package with a soccer player and spent like 170 that night. So he's got it. That's all I got. I had some shit we were going to talk about, kind of following up on UFC 302. But we'll save that for afterwards if we got time. And if we don't, who gives a shit? It's time to move forward. Trace, are you ready to get into the card, bud?
Yeah, man, this is gonna be a decision fest, but let's do it.
Yes, it is. I was gonna go into the group and say let's come up with all group over so we don't have to talk about them. And then I was like, man.
Yeah, and then I realized like 8 of the 12 fights or whatever it is like all over. So I think we can make a
Yep.
hell of a parlay this week, boys.
Yeah, but
I think Usman's strat whenever he's able to get it done and everything this week. I think he's going to feast this week for sure.
oh yeah, that split strat is gonna fucking kill it. All right, so let me check that timestamp. 32. We're at 32. You know, me and Dead Picks need all that. Shout out to Dead Picks. He don't get on the mic like he should, but he's our tech guy running our YouTube because we're live over on YouTube right now. We appreciate you, brother. And you know, anytime you want on that mic, you can get on that mic. All right, 32 minutes in, we're gonna switch over to UFC Louisville. Jared Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov. I gotta switch my mouse over here. How embarrassing. Trace, you ready to kick the card off? Wait, my bad. Usman, you doing tail of the tape this week?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, bud, kick the card off.
So we're going to start off with what's his name? Swagger Dagger 69's favorite fighter, Pujar Tomar versus Rayanne dos Santos. This will be fought at strawweight. Ryan DeSantos coming in at 14-7, with Pujar Tomar coming in at 8-4. We have no reach and no height listed for Pujar Tomar on the UFC website. If anybody else has got that, because that's where I'm using my stuff. Cap and May, y'all got the stats on that height or reach?
Oh man, I just clicked over and I'm trying to check. You can
Well,
we
we'll
don't
go off with Ryan Dos Santos. She's a 5'2" with a 62-inch reach. Pujar Tomar, all of her striking, this and that, it's all zero. This is her debut, so we ain't got nothing. Strikes landed per minute for Ryan Dos Santos, 3.73. Strikes absorbed, 4.63. And then takedown average per 15 minutes, 0.50. And that's it for the strats for the stats on these two fighters.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was watching Money Moicano's early picks for the card, and like he literally laughed at this shit. He was like, "Bro, this shit is a joke. Who let this Indian?" I genuinely think she sucked dick for this fucking to get in this card, bro. There's no way.
nah,
She's a
bro.
can. Now I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm not gonna say that, bro. But she doesn't deserve to be in this card, bro. I watched her fights and she was getting whooped, bro. She's a can.
Yeah, bro, you gotta remember Juliana Miller is in the UFC, so like, you gotta be you gotta understand there's levels to UFC contracts. But I see what side you're on in this fight. Trace, you got anything on this fight? Because for me, it is it's an over. I have no interest in playing either side of this fight, just the over.
Yeah, so it's a striker versus a grappler essentially. So the Puja's lost 3 times to submission, which is Rayanne's bread and butter, and then she has been defeated 1 time by KO, but she seems to be like pretty durable. She went to a decision with Denise Gomes, who we'll be talking about later in this card as well. I feel like this is a solid over for this fight. And if I'm not mistaken, that when this fight opened, Puja was either a slight favorite or it was a lot more closely aligned than the betting is since taken off and taken over the fight from that, and she's now been a plus 200 dog. So I think honestly, if you're going to play a money line, it's probably dog or pass for the money line, as these are both debutantes or low level women's MMA fighters. And yeah, I think the over is probably your safest bet here. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty decent line because the books are pretty wise to it now. But probably the safest bet as well.
Very nice.
If I'm taking a money line, I'm probably taking the dog shot on Puja at plus 200. I believe it's plus 200. It might be more than that, actually.
And Fuego.
Trace, come on, bro. Listen, when COVID kicked off, I was fucking betting Belarusian soccer, and I had no fucking clue what I was doing betting on Belarusian soccer because I needed action. That's what we're doing with this fight. Come on, man. We need to call the
That's what
orderlies
we're
on this.
doing with this
We
card in Fuego.
we
What
need
the
to
what
call
do you
the
want us to
orderlies
do?
on this fight, bro. I'm
What do you
just
want us
messing
to
with you,
do?
Trace.
It's the whole card.
Trace, I'm just messing with you, man.
No,
Usman.
yeah, trust me. I'm not going to be as blatant as Swagger is about it, but I also do believe that you should, for the most part, probably fade Indian fighters. But I think women's MMA is probably the exception to that because I don't think ethnicity plays too much into most of these women's skills. I think it's just mostly, yeah, just athleticism is more important than anything for the the women's divisions for sure.
Yeah, and
Ooh,
Rayanne is a black belt jujitsu specialist, bro. She's proven. I'm hammering her, bro. Like I know women is very unpredictable. I've been fucked over betting on women's a lot, but I just can't see it, bro. Unless it's rigged, bro, and they want to give her a debut
I don't
win.
know, man. I don't think if they're going to waste a rigging opportunity on such a low level fight. I'm not saying pick a side. I'm saying the over will probably be your best bet. It's not very often you see women just come out there and just kill each other in the first round. So if you get over 1.5, which I doubt you probably do on this one, but with Rayanne being a finisher, it might be a decent line on it. Yeah, I think the over is safe on this fight.
hey,
Usman.
Tumar's got 6 KOs with 3 first round finishes.
UFC is a different animal, though. I mean, she might be a regional fighter still, or like regional level, but she's fighting a very good regional level and the other opponent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
so
know
you're
she's
getting
five
the
foot
best of
four.
regionals.
You
What's
know
that?
she's 5'4".
Is there a point that you're trying to make, Joe?
Yeah, that our website has more information than the one that Usman's using. Usman, what do you got?
Yeah, look, I'm the degenerate that has to have a play on everything. I'll let y'all know that we're hitting every criteria for this to go over. For 2024, the first fight of the night hits the over at 76.92%. All time on my stats, it is looking at 63.63%. Everything says to go over on this one. I will not be touching the over at all because scary, and I don't like that it's minus 175 only. um if everybody's saying this Pujar Tamar girl is not good, I'm not going to bank on her making it 2.5 rounds. Yeah, no over for me.
Okay, we're done with this fight. We're not. We've been on this fight for like 100 hours. Would you say their names again without looking at the screen, Usman? Yeah, fuck you. You can't. So next is Cody Stamann versus Taylor Lapilus. Usman, you got some Taylor tape on that boy?
Now, these are some stats that I can read off. I like me some Cody Stamann. He comes in at 21, 6 and 1. Taylor Lapilus at 19 and 4. They have the same reach or height at 5'6". And then Cody Stamann, same reach over here, 64 inches for Cody Stamann, 73 inches for Taylor Lapilus. Landed per minute for Cody Stamann, we're looking at 4.39 and 3.91 for Lapilus. Absorb per minute 3.63, Stamen 2.37 for Lapilus, and then we're going down to the takedowns 2.34 for Cody Stamen and 0.37 for Lapilus.
I'm gonna kick this one off. I really like Cody Stamann. Think he's a good guy. I've met him. I think he's fun to watch fighting. Over 31 books. He's reporting at plus 208 average. I think that's lined right. I think that's lined correctly, and I don't think the dog shot on Cody Stamann is the play this week. I like all right. I already said it twice. I like Cody Stamann, but I don't like him in this fight. Yeah, I don't feel like this is a good look for him. I don't have to dig a bunch of tape into this one. As soon as I seen this fight, I was just like, oh man, it's Taylor Lapilus. I will take the over 1.5 on this fight though. 100%. The over 1.5 is a good play here in my opinion. I don't even feel like I'll be sweating it to be honest. I feel like that's easy play for the parlay. You're not trying to hit the over 2.5. You're gonna sweat that, but the over 1.5 is a nice play here. Usman got his hand up. Go ahead, bud.
I'll say it a third time and maybe even a fourth time. I like Cody Stamen. He's not winning this fight. They are not giving you any sort of playroom with even goes to distance minus 325. Joe says you might sweat the over 2.5. I don't think you will at all. At minus 350, it sucks, but that's the parlay piece. And I'll save the rest of us time with this one, where everybody's gonna go Lapilus, everybody's gonna go over 2.5, right?
Yeah,
I'm mine's over Lapilus by decision, easy.
Alrighty, all right, then let's just move on to the next one. How about that?
absolutely. Let's go, boys.
Ooh, now I hope y'all saved 15 minutes for this discussion. Eduarda Moura versus Denise Gomes. Eduarda Moura 10-0, undefeated. Denise Gomes 8-3. 5-6 for Moura, 5-2 for Denise Gomes. When it comes down to the reach, 3-inch reach advantage for Moura, 66 to the 63 of Gomes. Strikes landed per minute, 5.61 Moura, 4.81 Gomes. Absorbed 0.45 for Moura. I know that's with only two fights, but hey, kind of impressive still. 3.66 strikes absorbed per 15 minutes for Gomes. And then going down to the takedowns, 5.34 for Moura and 1.13. So we kind of know exactly what these girls are going to do.
All right. Well, I'll kick it off. I didn't see no other hands up. I like Denise Gomes here. I know she's plus money. I will say I am biased. I think she's a good fighter. I think she doesn't always show up the way she could, but I think she's a good fighter, and I like her in this spot. She's plus 136, averaging over 30 books. If you look real hard, you can find her. Damn, everybody is in the 130s. You can get plus 150 on her at some books. So you can get plus pretty good money on her. I think she's live. I won't play her KO or anything. Um, but I probably will kick her into a parlay. I'm not going to say lock that one in. But if I do a parlay with money lines, she will make the parlay with money lines. Zabets.
I'm on the other side. I'm gonna take Moura by decision.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I mean, I'm not mad at that at all. In Fuego.
Yeah, I got Mora early. Well, not early. My early at minus 150. I think she's going to come in bigger. And if you watch that first, you guys watch that Hill Gomes fight. Mora can do the same thing, take her down fairly easily. She's got a good single leg, and she's kind of stiff on the feet. But I think she's going to have opportunities, and certainly an opportunity to snatch that neck from Gomes too. So I'm on Mora.
Fair enough. Trace, you got anything on this fight, bub?
Yeah, in women's MMA, I typically go with the striker over the grappler. I just think the it's harder in women's MMA to get the takedown for or to be more dominant in a wrestler. Like the levels in the wrestling is never really that big, except for in some of your specialists like Tatiana Suarez. So a lot of the times even though you have a wrestler as their base, it's really not much better than their striking. So for me, in a low level women's MMA fight, I'm more likely to go with the striker in the bout. So I'll take Denise Gomes by decision. I'll take the over as well. Yeah, I think the over is probably the safest bet, but I don't know if Usman gave out that number yet. It's probably cooked because it's a women's MMA fight and everybody's onto that by now. But yeah, give me Gomes by decision.
Well, I ain't mad at it at all. Damn.
Resumes, there's a lot of difference in the resume as well, like as far as who they fought and the level of competition they fought as well. So while Gomez did lose to Angela Hill, I mean that's a good measuring stick for her, and also a good fight to learn from as well with a better striker. So yeah, I think we should see her growing in leaps and bounds in her striking as well, being a younger fighter.
I agree. I think she's got a lot of potential. I need her to show up a little bit, but I think she's the play here. I don't. Again, anybody listening that I'm playing a dog, so don't tell me if you're unsure. I think she's the play here. I think that puts us up for John Castaneda and Daniel Marcos. Usman, you got a little tape on that? And
I got
pre-comment, we all know that Castaneda grapples and Marcos doesn't. So fuck them grappling stats. Get at it.
Yeah, John Castaneda. I believe this is the Sexy Maxi, probably up there for one of the best nicknames in the game. 21-6 for Castaneda, 15-0 with one no contest, Daniel Marcos. And that was the nut kick, I believe, from last fight with the Rishi Lang. Height, we've got 5'6" for Sexy Maxi, 5'7" for Marcos, 71-inch reach to the 69-inch of Marcos, 71 for Castaneda. And then off to the strikes, 4.79 Castaneda, 5.75 Daniel Marcos. Absorbed, we're looking at 4.99. Never like when we see a fighter that absorbs more than he lands, and that's Castaneda. And 4 flat for Daniel Marcos.
I'll take this fight then. Can you hear me, Usman?
Yeah, get after it.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay. Yeah, man. I think Castaneda's aside. I think he's just the proven resume. We know he's tough. We know he's durable for the most part, and we know he's gonna be able to push the pace, man. Like I don't know. I think he's gonna be able to just kind of have his way with. I can't think of his name. I keep wanting to call him Jose Johnson for some reason, but yeah, I
Daniel
think
Marcos?
yeah, Marcos. I think Castaneda's aside. I think he is going to use the wrestling, and I think we see him just dominate to a decision. Give me all the Castaneda.
I ain't mad at you. You know what? I don't know who is the favorite and who the dog here is. I'm going to look real quick. I assume Castaneda is the dog, no?
I think it was almost a pick 'em. So with that being said,
Oh,
like
it
if
is. Marcos
the
is
O,
minus 32 books. Marcos minus 119. Castaneda minus 105.
so with that being said, obviously the over is a must play in this fight. I think it goes to decision either side, regardless of winner. But yeah, I will definitely have my side. Have my money on Sexy Mexi.
I hope he hits the play. I'm not playing this one. It's not because it's a pick 'em. I just didn't even look at it. I had no interest in it. Usman.
Yeah, no, the first thing I'd say about both of these guys is they're tough. They're going to keep on going. I think the over is a pretty easy play. We didn't talk about those grappling stats, but the fact that Daniel Marcos is sitting at an 89% kind of helps me lean his way. I wouldn't be mad at either pick with the lines this close, but I'm going with Marcos and the over, and probably Marcos by decision. Oh, also on the last fight, I can't stop talking about my the divisional goat. Luma Lukbune took Denise Gomes to decision, so hit the over on that last one too.
You and fucking Luma, bro. What? I don't know what you got for her for Luma, but power to you and her, man. That's all I can say.
She's the
Uh,
best.
Up next is minus 625. Brad Katana, 31 books. Jesse Butler, plus 418. Listen,
Hey Joe, can I cut in real quick? I know
yeah.
you're saying you guys 89% takedown defense, but did you look at who they're against? Brandon Lewis, who is a striker. Simon Oliveira. Uh, that's probably where most of his takedown defense comes from. And then Davey Grant. Those are strikers. Like he hasn't fought guys that are just shooting takedowns on him, and that's not their game plan. So I'm not saying that the defense isn't going to hold up. I'm just saying that isn't the best competition for it to be at 89% against. But I mean, really can't
Who you
scoff at
talking about?
89%. Oh shit, what's his name? I keep
Brad
wanting to call him.
Katana?
No, I'm talking about Daniel
Daniel
Marcos.
Marcos? Gotcha. Okay, my bad. All right. I ain't mad at that. We good to move on?
Yeah, my bad.
No worries. Brad Katana minus 625. That's reporting 31 books. Jesse Butler plus 418. I'm going to do it this way. Trace, how do you feel about the over? Are you taking it or not?
Oh yeah, it's a Katona fight. The over is given.
It's free, I know.
Decision is free as long as somebody can't knock him out, which he's never been finished. So just ride that to
If,
decision, boys.
if is anybody taking Jesse Butler? Show of hands. If you're taking Jesse Butler, yeah, all right, we're not talking about. Oh, Jazza Betts. Tell me
No,
why,
no, no.
bro.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Well, why is Katona minus 600? I don't understand that at all.
Because he's gonna take him to decision, bro, and he's gonna beat him. he's gonna outclass him, and it's gonna be boring, and it's gonna be
Jim
fucking
Miller. Jim
boring.
Miller knocked him out pretty quickly in their fight. Is why.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's my only question. I'm not digging into Jesse Butler's fucking regional tape, but your chin should hold up at a higher weight class. He's coming down two weight classes. This might be his original weight class. I don't know. I'm not looking at no damn Jesse Butler. Um, Bride Katona throws a lot, man. I'd just be afraid to hit the over, and then Jesse Butler just comes out and gets collapsed by like a 4 or 5 punch combo.
Yeah, but Katona's pillow fisted though, so I don't think you have to really worry about that.
I mean,
Jim
play
Miller,
the
for
over
whatever
1.5
reason,
to feel better. Didn't mean to cut you off, Trace, but just play the over 1.5. Feel better. Brackettana ain't knocking nobody out in 60 seconds, bro. That's not a real life thing. So
Usman, if you're worried about a Katona KO for ruining your money, son, we shouldn't bet no more.
I mean, okay. I was gonna say it's still set at 2.5 with -240 and -210 on the goes the distance and the over.
Hey,
I
that's
get
value.
it. I get it, but let's just move on to the next one before I start losing hair.
yeah, that sounds like a good plan there. That's that. That's that. What's next? Is it Charles? No, it's Andrea Lee and Montana Della Rosa. Um,
And
Jesus Christ.
if we're not coming over some of the stuff that you guys wanted it to really like get the information on, better times will be here in the next 10 minutes or so, and he may want to go back and cover some of those fights a little bit more better detail for y'all. So he might answer some of the questions you have if you have any questions. But if not, we are open mic, man. Throw a hand up, request a mic, we'll get you on here. We
Yeah,
don't we love to hear people's opinions, man. We're all for it.
and we do dig into these fights, and we have more to give than we do sometimes. We just know that if we give too much, you can turn a Jesse Butler fight into a 25-minute conversation. So
Lord
there's
knows
no
we're famous for it.
Yeah, so we just try to keep it at a minimal, have the information we need, and give the plays straight. Andrea Lee versus Montana Della Rosa is next. Montana is plus 121 over 30 books. Andrea sitting at minus 149. I don't have the over unders on our site open, and I'm on our site, but I'll bet you this one is set at 2.5. I'm not sweating that too much. Usman, you got any tail of the tape on this one?
Damn near identical stats when it comes to these two girls. 13-9 for Andrea Lee, 12-9-1 for Montana De La Rosa. When it goes down to height, 5'6" Lee, 5'7" De La Rosa. Reach, 69 inches for Lee, 68 for Rosa. Coming down, this is where we're starting to get some different looks. 4.69 landed for Andrea Lee, 2.70 for De La Rosa. 3.76 absorbed to 3.21 for De La Rosa. And then we know De La Rosa is going to grapple, but interesting here that Andrea Lee has the takedown average with 1.85 and 1.71 for De La Rosa. We'll scroll down because I'm going to give a ridiculous take on this one. Submission average 0.6 for Lee, 0.8 for Montana De La Rosa. And I'll take it first. Yeah, we're going to hit the over for sure. Both of these girls are going to go to the decision, but here's my ridiculous take. Every single time Andrea Lee comes out to fight, I'm going to touch that submission line. Am I going to get it? No. Probably one of my most losing bets. But Montana De La Rosa is going to find a way to start grappling with this girl. And Andrea Lee always finds the back. Does she do anything with it? Absolutely not. But maybe we get that sub. Here we go.
Yeah,
So
I think. Oh, go ahead, Trace. You had your hand up. My bad, bud. Go ahead.
oh, you're good, man. So I think it's really a toss up, man. This is really going to come down to who wants it more in the moment in that fight. I think they match up pretty well, honestly. Montana doesn't have the best striking, and Lee should definitely be the better striker, but Montana should hold the edge on the ground, a slight edge on the ground. Yeah, I think this fight's going to be a whole lot of back and forth, a lot of fighting for position, a lot of flipping around and reversals. Yeah, I think this fight's gonna be a little bit more hectic than we think. I honestly probably look to play the split on this one. I think it probably goes to decisions, pretty much a lock. The over obviously being a lock. But I think this fight's messy. I think first off, both these girls are on a 4-fight losing streak, so it could very well be fighting for the job. Which is why I was thinking. I think whoever wants it more is who's going to walk away with this fight. So over goes a decision, and I'll probably play a little on the split side, especially with how weird these judges have been here lately, man. Like, why not?
I'm not mad at any of that. My problem with taking fight goes to the distance is I think Andrea Lee could put Montana away in the late rounds. I think if Andrea Lee is able to scoop the legs, I think she can control Montana in that position. I think she can make it look grueling. I don't think she gets the finish ground and pound wise, but I think she can be on top of her. I think she'll have the opportunity to posture up. I think she'll be able to beat her up for a little bit. If she could do that for half of round one or all of round two or anything similar to that, I just think she may be able to get Montana tired enough to actually finish her in the late rounds. So definitely throw the over 1.5 in the lay. I like Lee. I'm gonna put a over 1.5 dash Lee, meaning if I do play Gomes, I'm gonna play Lee with it. But yeah, that's my take. That's what I got. Anybody else on this fight at all? Oh, well, that's okay too. Charles Radtke versus Carlos Prates is next. Usman, you got tail of the tape on that?
Of course, Charles Radtke. Both these guys only got two fights in the UFC, so the stats are going to be a little skewed. Radtke coming in at 9-3, with Prates coming in 18-6, 5'9" in height for Radtke, 6'1" for Prates. Reach is going to be 72 for Radtke, 78 for Carlos. Strikes landed per minute 3.29 for Radtke, 4.38 for Carlos. Absorb per minute 3.03 for Radtke, 5.95 for Carlos Prates. 0.00 for Prates on everything having to do with grappling. 0.76 takedowns for Radtke. Don't got a take on this fight. Go ahead, guys.
Trace, you on this fight?
Yeah, I think Carlos Prates is the side, man. I think he's the rightful favorite. He's a pretty sizable favorite at that. I think it's probably a round one, round two KO. Um, yeah, I'm pretty confident that he finds the finish here. Uh, yeah, most of his finishes have come early in the fight. His latest being a round two KO. Yeah, I think he's a pretty safe bet this week. I have him in a parlay, a 2-leg parlay for this card. Yeah, I'm Prates by KO. I'll probably play the KO round two, round three props on FanDuel for a better line because I do think it probably comes more likely in the second round than the first, but I'll probably touch both lines as well.
Very nice. Carlos is minus 238 over 28 books. Radke plus 185. They've got the over set at the over 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus money at minus 145 plus 115 for the under. That is at Sportsbook. They've got all their over unders posted, so that's who we're using tonight. I'm definitely getting it off capmma.com. Shameless plug. We've got 40 books reporting over here. We've got over unders, just turn the rounds on. We got parlay calculators. Site's killing it. I've been beta testing the the news prompts to give you all of the news stories for about a week here. I think I'm gonna let it go shortly. Usman, what do you got?
So when the goes to split is lined at plus 400 or lower, that is hitting the over at 66.66% for 2024. Luckily, we have an over 1.5. So that's telling me that I'm going to be taking that over 1.5. Just on a little side hedge from what y'all guys are telling me, I think I take the over 1.5, and then I also take Carlos Prates by KO round one plus 300, round two plus 500. And hey, if we hit the under with a KO round two, we buy a Chuck E. Cheese.
All right, I ain't mad at it. Kids won't be mad at it either. I don't see any hands up on this one. This isn't a fight I expected to see any of that. Thiago Moises, Ludwig Klein. Ludwig coming in at minus 130. Thiago coming in at plus 105. 29 books reporting that. I think the over is very live here. What's it set at? Minus 135 plus 105 for the under. That's the over under 2.5. This is one of those fights for me. I wouldn't sweat the over 2.5 too much, but if you're playing parlays, throw the over 1.5 on there, take the alternate. You're probably getting shittier odds, minus two something on it, but I would assume it's a really, really nice parlay piece. Yeah, just my assumption. Sorry, skipped hell of the tape on this one, Usman, but they ain't all worth it, and we got to pick and choose. Trace, you got anything on this fight?
I'm gonna be honest. I stepped away. What fight are we on?
Oh, you dirty son bitch. He thought Usman was going to be over here, 5'2", 64 inches of reach. Thiago Moises, Ludwig Klein.
I'm seeing a lot of love for Thiago Moises, which surprises me. Like I get it, Ludovic Klein's not the most well-rounded fighter, but it seems to be most of the love's coming from him, mostly being a physical specimen, and then thinking that he's falling in love with bodybuilding rather than fighting, which could be a problem if it is true. But I don't know, man. The dude's yoked. I feel like he's probably just juicing like everybody else is, and will probably come in fight day juice like everybody else is, and probably comes out there and ends up catching Thiago Moises at some point. But yeah, I didn't look at this fight too much for a betting standpoint. If I was to take a side, if you're going to give me more Ludovic Klein against Thiago Moises at some point, I'd probably take a shot on him. But yeah, maybe Ozzy has a better take for this fight.
Ozzy, welcome back to the mic. Get after it, bud. Oh, shit. Better times. Welcome in, bud. Ozzy, get after it.
Yeah. This is a bit of a tricky fight, like you were saying, but I think it goes the distance at a big clip, and I can definitely see Moises maybe taking it back, standing against the cage, something like that, and really you're going to be stuck in a couple of these rounds, thinking who the hell won that round, and that's where you want the split. I'll be looking at split for this fight. If I get really good odds on either guy, if we're looking at like 13-1 or 14-1 on one of these guys by split, I mean that's a must play. I think scorecards will probably be all over the place just because I think it's going to be, Klein's probably going to edge him on the feet. He'll probably, be winning the minutes on the feet, but it's not going to be so wide that if all of a sudden there's some grappling exchanges, Moises can't steal the round. So yeah, I'm looking for split on this fight, and I'm hoping I get a good line. I'm hoping it's a bit sneaky, but it's if the over is, did you say it's minus money for the over 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably not going to be a great split line, but hopefully I get 5-1 or something like that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, you probably get plus 450 at worst, I'd imagine. Better times. Welcome to the mic, brother. Do you have anything on the Ludovic Klein Thiago Moises fight?
Yeah, the side is Moises, man. Come on. Striking wise, the tricky thing about Klein's striking is that he flows very well, but it's the setup of the high kick. That left high kick he has is really fast, and it's set up very well. But as far as striking goes, everything else is pretty even. Moises is not a bad striker. He's just as good as Ludovic Klein. The only thing that separates them is Klein is just a little bit faster, but Moises has the timing and power on his side. But the grappling is what sets them apart. Moises is such a good grappler. Ludovic Klein is to an extent. His style is more controlling. Moises is more of a finishing style. And I think Moises is going to dominate to a decision or a late submission. That's my take.
I say we got Jason Nickel down there, Bo Nickel's father. That's always cool. Good seeing you here, brother. I know that's some of your people, Aussie man. Always cool to have him in here, though. Better. I know you weren't here for a lot of things because you have work. Was there any of the fights that from earlier in the card that you had strong takes on that you wanted to give out?
I'm honestly not even. I don't even have the card in front of me, so I don't know what y'all went over.
Okay, we'll just go moving forward, and then if we'll kind of glance back at it a little bit later in the card.
Okay.
Joe, did you have anything else on this fight you wanted to touch?
Nope. Usman, what you got next?
First and foremost, I'll say everybody bet Thiago Moises because I really, really like me some Ludovic Klein. One of those fighters that I just really root for, and I'll probably be betting him. So when I bet my favorites, always fade me. That's the rule, unless it's the GOAT Luma Lukbume. On to the
Bro,
next one.
learn to bet people you like, motherfucker. What's next?
Miguel Baeza versus Punahele Soriano. Baeza coming in at 10-3. Punahele coming in at 9-4. 6'2" for Baeza, 5'11" for Soriano, 74-inch reach for Baeza, 72 for Punahele, 4.88 strikes landed per minute for Baeza. Got it right that time. 3.96 for Punahele, absorbed 5.10 for Miguel, 4.55 for Punahele, and then takedown average per 15 minutes 0.44 and 0.79 for Punahele.
I'd like to kick this one off and say that I think this is a good under. If you're afraid of the unders, you can go under 2.5. A lot of people don't like to play them or see what you can get for fight goes the distance. No, but I think this is a really good spot to take an under. I don't know the odds on that. I'm gonna switch over and look real quick here, see if I can get them before I get off of the damn mic.
You got 2.5 at over 2.5 at plus 190, under 2.5 at minus 240.
Damn. Under 1.5 is reporting at Superbook at minus 240. That's probably coming through wrong. That's probably coming through wrong. That's probably mine. That's probably under 2.5. I can't see him putting the under 1.5 at that, but maybe. Baeza is minus 192 and Soriano is plus 152 over 32 books, just to throw that out there. I just think this is a really good underplay. I'm not taking a side. I'm not going to bag any fighters. I don't think the level that we see in other fighters in the UFC is here for this fight. So I'm not confident to take a side, but you know me, I'm a overs, unders, fight goes the distance, fight doesn't go the distance, guys. That's what I do most of the time. Ozzy, get after it.
Sorry, I
Actually,
was
throw it to.
muted there for a sec. Yeah, I like this Baez's guy. Why was he off for 2 years? I don't know what it was. I'm going to have to look into that. But Soriano, he's going to come in. He's going to throw hooks. He's going to throw bombs. Like you said, maybe he catches him. I can't forget who he fought last, this Baez's guy, but he got his nose crushed from that uppercut from the clinch, and he was never the same after that. It was just a matter of time till he got KO'd. But 2 years off, man, that's a long time. But I kind of lean towards him fighting smart and getting a sub. He hasn't got a paycheck in a while, so I will be looking at the sub line. Soriano is definitely vulnerable there. I wouldn't mess with Soriano on the feet if I didn't have to. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, does anyone know why he was off for 2 years?
I don't, but all signs still point to that under. He either leveled up or leveled down. I'm not being funny, but I am. Better times. You got anything on this fight before I throw it over to Zah?
Yeah, I can't hate on the under, but I think Baez is going to be a little bit cautious this time because he's been caught with some power punchers, Fialho and Chaos Williams. But from what I can see, even though he's been caught, he looks better every time. He really does. His striking is just phenomenal. He attacks all levels of the body and grappling. I think he got Soriano covered everywhere. He's just got to be cautious of that punching power. But Soriano's footwork is very limited. So that's what I think is going to get him pretty much dominated from Baeza. But he can always get caught. Soriano's got the knockout power.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it, but I'm still just no side. Zabets.
I think we have a fight where we see two guys who are both coming off losses, and are both scared to engage to lose because of contract, especially in Puna's situation.
So it's the first one to like
He's
gets the knockout.
No, I think it's more or less that they fight to not lose rather than to win, and it ends up in a decision. I'll probably take the over on this fight, especially at plus 90, plus 190. Excuse me.
Man, you're making me feel bad. I'm still taking my unders. Zabets, close this out.
Yeah, I agree with a lot what everyone had to say. I like Baeza in this. I think he took like the time off because he was on like a real bad losing streak. But before he was on that, he was a good striker. He's gonna have the reach in this fight, and I think he bounces back.
Very nice. Um, Next should be Julian Marquez minus 137. Zach Reese plus 111 over 29 books. If you didn't like the under on the last fight, you gotta like the under on this fight, man. For fuck's sake, Usman, you got any tail of the tape on this one?
I do. I was just gonna ask though. Anybody worried about this being Punahele's first fight at welterweight? Never fought at this weight before. Always middleweight and up.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. I just went skill for skill.
Ooh, let's
Yeah.
see that weight cut. Them scales might have you backtracking them bets and pulling them slips, but
I mean, not if you got the under, right? But we'll just get
all
into the next one,
point
huh?
to the under. All signs point to the under. What you got on the next one, bub?
The Cuban Missile Crisis, the big bag fumbler, Julian Marquez versus Zach Reese. 9-4 for Marquez, 6-1 for Reese. 6-2 for Marquez, 6-4 for Reese. Going down to the reach, it's 72 Marquez, 77 Reese. Landed per minute 4.86 to 3.93, and absorbed 4.99. Once again, hate seeing a fighter that takes more than he lands, and that's for Marquez. But if you hated that, Zach Reese has got 6.56 strikes absorbed per minute. And then we really don't need to look at the grappling stats because it's 0.000.000.
That's where it's at. No hands up, so I know the guys we got on deck. Better times, get after it, bud. What you got on this fight?
I'm on Zachary Reese, and simply put, man, the man is a good striker. Everything is accurate, and it hurts his opponents. They just cannot. They can't take it. The Cody Brundage fight. I would say people put that out their minds because Cody Brundage is a good first round fighter, and he trapped Zachary Reese. Zachary Reese wasn't coming out of that slam, I love watching that slam. By the way, that was a good setup. Zachary Reese was set up with a good. He got trapped. He wasn't going anywhere. He was getting knocked out regardless when he got picked up. So take that out your minds. Look at his past fights. Look how good he was. Especially the Contender Series fight. I bet against him on that fight, and that was a high level fighter. Dude, I don't know. I got a lot of praise for this guy. Very good on the feet. Very good submission skills. Julian Marquez is gonna get touched up in this fight. I know the cardio is a big question, but I don't think Julian's gonna last past the first round. I think it's Zachary Reese all day.
Man, I was gonna come back around and say I think I'm gonna play the round one, no side, just fight ends round one, bro. Uh, Made me feel real nice that you fucking threw that one out there at the end. Ozzy,
That's
get
a big
after it, bud.
dude.
Bro, I'm telling you, this is an under fight. If you don't like the last one, this is the one right here. Ozzy.
I'm 110% behind you. I think Zachary Reese round one is, I mean, a massive part of the win equity in this fight. Uh, when you look at
All six of his
uh,
wins are round one.
yeah, and you look at the other bloke, what's his name? Fucking sorry, I'm driving at the moment.
Marquez.
Marquez.
Marquez, I think all of his ITDs, they're all sub, right, in the UFC. I don't think he's even had a knockout. I don't mind anybody if they want to take some Marquez round 3 sub. I mean, he's done it before, but can he do it now? I don't know, man. I mean,
He's
he
got
fights once a year.
round. Hey, he's got 4 first rounds, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions.
Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, he gets it done too. But I don't know, man. I don't think this is going to judges. If it does,
So
round 3 is going to look terrible. It's going to look very sloppy, and yeah, I think either guy. If you're going to pick a side, pick round 1 or 2, or like you said, just the under, or ends in round 1. What was that?
I don't have
Did you get
that.
a?
Our site
Oh,
doesn't
okay,
have
that's a
those
tip, not a pro. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll be looking at that too. I think that's a great parlay piece. The under on this fight, more so than everyone was on the Morono price under last week. I mean, I think this one is way more value if it's a similar line. So yeah, I'm going to take that for sure.
So I will add this. I feel pretty nice about the first round because I think if Zach Reese makes the mistake, Marquez will put him out for it. If you make the mistake and you don't get your way, you're going to go to sleep for it, in my opinion. Yeah, that's my real take on that one. Zabet, you had your hand up, bro. Did you want to get something out there before I have Trace close this out?
Yeah, you guys. I'm on the same side as Better Times and Aussie. I'm gonna take a dog shot with Reese here. He's taller, and he, like you said, a lot of his fights end in the first round. I think he knocks him out in the first or second.
Nice. I like the first. I'm not mad at anybody covering it on the second. And I know my dude Trace right here. He's gonna say he's gonna take the first and the second because he's a smart better. Trace, close this one out.
So honestly, I thought going into this I'd be all over Julian Marquez, and I kind of still am. I just didn't realize the low level of competition that he's fought in the UFC. Like most of them aren't even in the UFC anymore that he's beaten. And then the Marc-Andre Barriault KO doesn't look good uh, as far as like being durable. But yeah, man, we have a guy largely untested in what is his name? In Zachary Reese, who has been a 1 round fighter, and like I just remember like every fight that I've watched him in, just kind of like, man, he is there to be hit. So yeah, I'll probably take a shot on Marquez to get the submission here. I might just take him inside the distance. Honestly, I think this fight more likely does get finished inside the distance, like everybody's touched on. Probably round 1 or 2 because that is the win condition of Reese, and I think Marquez is going to oblige him. I think he'll stand and bang with him, and then whoever drops. But yeah, I think Marquez has probably the better side for me as well. So give me Marquez.
Nice. Better times, tail back through, and then Zabet will close it.
Real quick, just a real quick note about him being there to be hit. He can take a shot. In his fights, he's shown that he can take clean shots. But one thing that I did notice on one of his fights, Alex Morono was commentating during the fight because he trains at the gym sometimes, or mainly, I don't know. But he says whenever he spars, he doesn't have to hold back when he's sparring. So you can really just hit him, and he could take a shot well. So just a little note.
Y'all guys know I love my tough fighters, but that isn't the way I bet them. Like if you're known for being tough, it's because you get hit, and then in this sport, you don't want to be the guy that's known for getting hit and getting love fair that way. Like it's cool being tough, but I want the guy that doesn't get hit and hits people. Uh, Unfortunately, neither one of these guys are really that guy. But yeah, give me the Cuban Missile Crisis.
I ain't mad at it. Zabet, take this one home.
I just have to share some breaking news. Dana White just announced Macy Barber versus Rose Namajunas, July 13th in Denver, Colorado, main event.
I was hoping you were saying the replacement for UFC 303. I was about to get real lit.
Nope, just some Rose and Macy Barber.
So is that officially off, or is there just no words right now?
Oh, the McGregor?
Officially unofficial.
Yeah, Officially unofficial for sure. Sorry, I had to walk across the room and grab something to drink, boys. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Bruno Ferreira versus Dustin Stolfest. Listen, I don't. Okay, so Dustin Stolfest is a dog. I'm not. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not. I'm not trying to talk big shit about him. But this is a fight for Bruno Ferreira to win. He's minus 278. Dustin Stolfest plus 211 over 30 books. We don't need to get too deep in the tail of the tape here. This is a fight I'm going to go ahead and make the executive call. And I'm going to let Better and Trace give their takes. And then unless anybody is actually on Dustin Stolfest, we'll move on after that. So Better, why don't you open it up? And Trace, why don't you close it out? And we'll move right past this one. Anybody can throw their hand up, but I'm trying to avoid the conversation on this one. This is a layup. The UFC's.
Yeah,
If I know better, we're probably gonna be able to open it and close it with his. So we're probably good. Go ahead, better.
it's easy, bro. Bruno Ferreira, round one. Dude has knockout power, and the big key is the movement. Bruno Ferreira has really good movement. Stoltzfus, even though his offense is good, he lacks movement. His head is just there on the center line. He's gonna get knocked out in round one.
That is the take. Trace, you got anything that is not that take?
I mean, this guy got beat up on the feet by oh man, what is the guy's name? The Brazilian world champion at one. He won multiple times, but I can't think of the guy's name. Anyways, he got beat up by a Brazilian world champion on the feet. That should tell you
Rodolfo
all you need to
Vieira.
know. Yeah, Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo pieced him up on the feet. Yeah, he's probably getting knocked out pretty quickly here. I probably wouldn't be so bold as just to do the one. I'd probably do round 1 and 2 on FanDuel. Just I like to cover just in case weird shit happens. Could Stoltzfus go in there and pull off some kind of crazy ass submission? Sure, that's his win condition. I just think more often than not we see Fahea put this man to sleep. So yeah, give me the KO prop. Fahea money line. Fahea under. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty safe bet.
Usman, close this one out and tell us what's next.
Two very wise poets of our time said, I'm an island boy because fuck y'all guys. I'm on Dustin Stolfitz. He's going to drain this guy out. He's going to get tired, and we're going to get a Dustin Stolfitz round 2 submission, round 3 submission. Put
Oh,
it
like he did,
down. Dustin Stolfitz is going to dog this boy out.
like.
So for
Okay.
you that didn't know, Dustin Stoltzfus is from about 45 minutes from where I currently live. He's a Mennonite boy. He's not an island boy. He's a get out there and pitch some hay with a fork boy.
No, I'm saying I'm an island boy because I'm going to be like the only person in the world cashing this Dustin Stolfitz money line and over 1.5 bet. On to the next one, boys.
Yes, sir.
We've got. Oh, this is the one. This is our real main event, right? Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Tercios. Do we really got to go through the stats? 8-1 to 13-3. Um, mm. Yeah, Rosas
No,
versus Tercios. Well, what y'all got? That's it. We're just gonna do
bro.
that.
So when this fight was originally announced, it was set for Denver or no, New Mexico or Mexico. So it was set at high elevation. Um, as we all know, Tercios is a cardio machine. Wish he could weaponize it a little bit better. He's a little crazy and a little wild with his strikes when he does stuff. No real technique when he gets to fight. He just kind of throws out there whatever he feels. But yeah, whenever it was at elevation, I liked him to out cardio Rosas. But now that it's going to be on equal footing here at or where is this in Louisville, uh, significantly lower elevation. Yeah, this should be a Rosas decision. I doubt he finishes him. Uh, both guys are the other guy's traditionally tough and has been durable for most of his career. Yeah, I think this is just a whole bunch of wrestling, a whole bunch of transitioning and battling for position. And then Rosas probably gets the better of it early with Tercios coming in at the end. Maybe a split decision here, but I like the over and I like Rosas by decision.
I'm taking Tercio. by decision. Um, I'm actually taking the over, and then I think Tercios is going to wear his ass out. I think that Rosas probably looks nice in round one. I think by the end of round two, he does not look so nice. I think that that's the swing round, and I think round three is Ricky Tercio all day. And I think it's going to be a motherfucking ass whooping. People with slips on it worrying, was that a 10-8? Was that a 10-8? I think by round three, he beats the shit out of Rosa. Maybe I'm tripping. That's just my take. I am taking the over, though. I don't think he finishes them. I'm taking at least the over 1-5, at least the over 1-5. And I'm going to have to figure out a way to play Ricky Tercio somewhere because I think,
I would love to see a Ricky Tercios Hadouken in the UFC. That would be awesome.
bro, I'm telling you, just he's got a good rhythm to him when he gets going, and I think it can be a problem for Rosas. He's very awkward with his timing, and I don't think Rosas has got the is experienced enough to do anything about that. He's probably get the grapple in the early round, but after that, I just don't know, man. Better times. You got anything on this one, bro?
Yeah, bet the over 2.5, easy money. But yeah, it's hard to pick a side, but I lean towards not Ricky, fucking Raul, because it's just the grappling and it's the style of grappling. Like I don't know why he chose to like approach the grappling the way he did against what was that name, Christian Rodriguez. It was just that was just bad. And then he rushed himself and everything. Look, if he attacks the legs like he does in his early fights, he'll get Ricky down. I don't know what it is about getting to the hips or below, but Ricky just he doesn't defend him, and but he is busy. I will give him that. He's busy on the bottom, so I think Raul has a good 2 rounds in him, if not 3 rounds. He's gone three hard rounds before. I think everyone just has that Christian Rodriguez fight stuck in their head, and they don't look at the fight he had on Contender Series. That man, the guy he fought was a real solid fighter. So I think Raul Rosas has the advantage here in the grappling. I don't think he has bad striking either, especially when going up against Ricky Tercios. Tercios is not the best striker. He doesn't feint. He doesn't really set up anything. He just goes for it. And I think Raul can work with that. So Raul Rosas via decision, but the best bet over 2.5. Easy money.
Yeah, I like that over a lot. Over 1.5 is like free hit every parlay. You know what I mean? Like your fucking 8 legs, just throw it on there for a ninth leg. I mean, I like the over 2-5 just as easy, but whenever I'm that confident in the 2-5, I'll throw the over 1-5 fucking everywhere. Like, I don't give a shit if it gets me an extra fucking 20 points. I'm gonna take it.
So we're not recommending you make 9 leg parlays, but if you already make them,
Yeah, that's
throw
what
that
I'm
10th one on there,
saying.
son.
If you're a guy who already builds them, or if you already make 5 leg parlays and you want a little juice, like, so I like to do 3-4 leg parlays, right? But then I'm like, man, I want to juice it. You might take 2 over 1-5s or even 3 of them for the juice if you feel like they're over 2-5 fights. I don't know, man. Whatever. We're talking too much bet technique shit. Usman, what you got next, bro? Wait, did Zah have his hand up?
Nope.
Usman, close this one out on what you got next.
Kevin Natividad has landed 7 takedowns in the UFC. All 7 on Ricky Tercios. Tercios been held down for 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Give me the young kid Raul Rosas by decision, and let's move on to the next one. Dominic Reyes versus Dustin Jacoby. The Devastator versus the Hanyak. Dominic Reyes at 12-4. Dustin Jacoby 19-8-1. We got 6'4" to 6'3" and 77 inches of reach to 76 inches of reach. 4.75 strikes landed per minute for Reyes, 5.53 for Jacoby, 3.77 absorbed for Reyes, and 4.07 for Jacoby. Let's just say identical with takedown average at 0.36 and 0.36. Both coming off of a loss. Reyes to Span, Jacoby to Menafield. And that's that.
Yeah, so this minus one or minus 233 on Jacoby, plus 183 on Reyes. I favor the knockout in this fight. My favorite fight goes no. Um, I favor Dustin Jacoby, but I actually will not bet him. I will just bet fight goes to decision, and I will probably find something for the KO. Trace, what you got on this fight? Open this one up, bud. I guess I shouldn't have said open it up. That wasn't the correct term. Get into it. You're muted? Do you know that?
Yeah, man. I don't know how you have much faith on either side of this fight. Really, like most of yours going off of the downfall of Reyes. Like he just hasn't been able to take a punch seemingly, but I don't know. Justin Kobe isn't like a one punch guy. He's a kind of more or less in the UFC is just pointed guy. So I'd probably play the over in this fight and probably try not to invest too much money in a fight that could be, honestly, who knows, man. Like what is left of Dominic Reyes? Like what is I mean, he went from arguably losing a split decision to the greatest fighter of all time that he could have won to not being able to win a fight. So yeah, I believe a lot of these fighters are their success is tied to and their pride and their belief in themselves. And I don't think he believes in himself anymore. So I don't know how you bet him. So I figure he probably Jacoby, but if like I said, I'd probably just take the over and stay off this fight from a betting standpoint.
That's the touch of John Jones, bro. Once that man beats you, your career is fucked up. That's just how it works. That motherfucker, he is the grim reaper of MMA. All right. I don't.
Well, we got better times. Better. You
Oh,
gotta
my
take on this
bad.
fight, brother.
My bad. I'm not excited about this one. I was like, blow over this bitch. Better times. Get after it.
Like, this is a toss up to me. They both have horrible striking defense. Jacoby has had it lately. He used to be really good at range management, but lately it's just been really horrible. So on my nose, I just said bet the under. This fight is not going the distance.
All right. I want to give everybody a little bit of insight. Um, so there do come probabilities, right? Dominic Reyes is a UFC caliber fighter who we have seen fight for a belt. It is probable that he will win a fifth fight. It is rare that he would actually lose the fifth fight in a row. That is a probability. I ran this fight through Darce, but I fucked up and I didn't tell Darce to do it 3 rounds. So Darce ran the fight for 5 rounds. This doesn't count for a Darce pick because Darce would have ran it different for a 3 round. And I didn't go back and redo it. I just killed the video. We've got a lot of production going on, and I can't backtrack. But in the probability breakdowns, the probability in a 5 round were rounds 1, 2, or 3 KO. Dominic Reyes 55% win probability. And as a matter of fact, because I'm here, I will just open it up. If you guys give me a second, let me see. I know I have the actual. Let's see, Louisville. I got to get to them, but I can give you all of the probabilities on that one for.
We're not big enough yet, but this is where we would install a commercial whenever we get there, guys.
Well, if Trace was on his shit, he'd be doing a goddamn commercial right now. But he's always slacking, man, and then making me look bad. I don't know why he does that. It did favor Dominic Reyes. I can remember it was 45% KO probability for Dominic Reyes, 35% KO probability for just Dustin Jacoby. I want to say they don't quote me on this one. I want to say they both had 10% chance of submission on the probability. But I will say, even though it favored Dominic Reyes by KO and it favored Dominic Reyes to win, it may have changed that in a 3 round fight as far as the final outcome. But when it ran it for 5 rounds, it favored Dominic, and it favored the round 1, 2, 3 finish on its own for either way. So take that for what it's worth. Darce is at 6-0 right now. We're not being picky. We could call it at like 7-1 with fight probably man with 6-1 on the actual method. This is if we went through testing. Like Darce is fucking killing it. Darce has ran a few fights out to a T. You can go read it. So for whatever that's worth, let's move on to the main event. Jared Cannonier, who is minus plus 102 over 32 books. On average, you do see him at minus money on some books, but slight plus money on most books. Nazardim Imavov, minus 129. You can see him as deep. And that's the average over 128. That's the average over 32 books, but you can see him as deep as minus 141. So some people are definitely betting his ass. You want to give us some tail of the tape on this one? Some basic shit, Usman?
Yeah, I got you. We're basically gonna know it's going to be striker versus striker that mixes it up. 17-6 for Jared Cannonier, 13-4 with one no contest for Imavov, 5'11". Cannonier 6'3" for Nasruddin, way bigger guy, but Cannonier's got the reach advantage by 2, 77-75. Strikes landed per minute 4.68 to 4.53. Cannonier with the lands more. 4.13 to 3.26. Nasruddin misses or dodges strikes a little bit more. Off to the grappling 0.44 takedown average per 15 minutes for Jared Cannonier and 0.87 for Nasruddin Imavov. Try to fly through him. What we
Very
got?
nice. Better times. Oh, it was, man, just to backtrack because I found it. 50% chance that fight ends in KO. 40% chance it goes the distance. 10% on submission on that last fight. Like, it's KO or distance, man. Better times. Get after this main event.
All right, I'm actually going against Darce on this one. I'm on Jared Cannonier. Simply because this is a 5-round fight. Nasruddin Imavov, I've always seen him slow down after the second round. He did it against Buckley. I don't know how he did it against fucking Roman Dolidze. He had him finished in the first round. I think he should have been able to finish him in the second round, but he wasn't able to, and he got taken down in that fight too. Look, Jared Cannonier, especially against Marvin Vettori, he looked phenomenal. Strike timing, really good footwork and angles, and he started implementing grappling. If he does that, he's gonna beat Imavov. He could probably knock him out as the fight goes on because that power is not going anywhere. But I actually got to go. I just remember one fight I do want to go over. Not go over. I want y'all to hear my take. Puja Tomar versus Hadiani Amadi now.
Yep.
Dude, Puja Tomar is the girl to watch. I'm a fan of this girl. Y'all are gonna do. I'm telling you, that girl is a fucking beast. I watched one of her fights where she used so many leg kicks and she throws them hard. This girl's leg looked like she was just scraped across the pavement for a long time. The girl is good and her finishing instinct is like none other. I'm telling you, at plus 285, take a shot on her. But I gotta go. Y'all have a good
Better
one.
real quick. Over or under on that one?
On the Tomar
Yes,
fight.
sir.
Oh, probably over. They're both really good.
Very nice.
Hit
Better.
him with
Thanks
the
for
mic
getting in
drop.
here tonight, bro. Thanks for getting in here tonight, bro. We'll catch up with you soon.
No problem. Have a good one.
You too. I will open this one up with the Darce take, actually. So something new happened when this one ran through the probability calculator, and it said Cannonier 50% chance, and Nazardine 55% chance. I'm gonna read that as a 50-50 with it's never cut it like that before where when you add the big probabilities up, it's over. So I'm going to cut it as a 50-50 fight in the probability odds with a very, very slight lean in Nasruddin's favor. It says the most likely finish by a fighter, though, is Jared, 45% KO probability. If you're looking for the prop on how this fight ends, though, probabilities say it is fucking tore up. Goes to decision 40%, KO 35%, submission 25%. If you're playing numbers, there's no good spot on this one. My personal take, I like Jared Cannonier, but I'm not betting anything on this fight. I'm not making an official pick on this fight. I actually like Jared, so I know better. Trace, what you got on this one, bud?
So I didn't, like I said in the chat earlier today, I didn't have a lot of love for this card. I think most of them go to decisions. If I'm being clear, if I'm being completely transparent, but yeah, I think the over is probably another good decision here. With things going on with USADA not being in a prime role anymore, not having anything to do with the testing anymore, it's going to be interesting to see what fighters reemerge and show new versions of themselves. I know he's Muslim, so he probably won't take supplements, assuming. But then again, we know how the Dagestanis are, so I don't know. I'm taking the over. I'm not picking a side in this fight. If I was, I'd probably go with Imavov just because of age. But yeah, man, I'm probably gonna have me a nice little over parlay going. So I might tell you this week, Joe.
Very nice, very nice.
Imovov's not Muslim. He's French.
No. Vanilla Gorilla. Jared Cannonier is Muslim.
Oh, come on, y'all had to think that one was funny.
Yeah, that was classic right there.
What you're telling me, Joe, not you, what Darce is telling me is take the plus 6,600 draw on this fight. It's already loaded in. I'm buying the Chuck E. Cheese, guys.
Bro, I'll be honest. If that hits based off that take, that's the hottest thing we've seen out of that fucking algorithm, calculator, fucking model, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a model. It's
Yo,
a model.
speaking of crazy lines, you know how my heart skipped a beat whenever they were reading off the cards, and like I know y'all know I was over Sean Strickland last weekend. His decision prop and his late round finish props, but I did do the Paulo Costa hedge on DraftKings at 25-1 for him to win a split decision. So when they read that 49-46 Paulo Costa, I thought I had a dream for a second, boys. Like he didn't deserve it, but I thought I was about to catch that 25-1 real quick.
Zabet.
Yeah, I stood up. I stood up. I said, "No, they did not." I thought I was about to have a dream.
Zabet, what you got, bro?
Yeah, Paulo Costa tried telling you guys he can fade, man.
Yeah, we knew that shit. We knew that shit. All right, listen, real quick. Let's run it down, Trace. Let's couple seconds. Are we taking the over 2-5 Usman 2? We taking the over under 2-5 on the Tomar fight.
Everything points to take the over. So
All
let's
right, we
take the
taking
over.
the over under on the Lapilus Stamann fight.
That's an over.
I agree. We taking the over under on the Marcos Castaneda fight. That's an over.
That's an over.
Yeah, that's definitely an over. We taking the over under on the Gomes fight. We can skip them too. This is
Oh man.
2-5. 2-5
Over,
on the.
over.
You know I always do a first four parlay. That's gonna be an over for me. That
All right.
already at plus 379.
Two finishers, two women finishers. Give me the over.
Yeah, for sure. We know we're taking the over on the Jesse Butler Brad Katona fight. We know we're taking the over on the Montana De La Rosa Andrea Lee fight. Do we want to skip or take the over 1-5 on the Radtke fight? I'm gonna
Skip.
skip.
Skip. I would skip that.
Over 2-5 on the Klein fight, minus 135. That's a skip, bro. That's not good
Skip.
enough money. Over under 1-5 minus 135 on the Stofes fight. Not for this parlay. Zachary Reese under. That's a different parlay. Let's see. The Soriano fight. under 1.5. That's a huge favorite. We're gonna skip that one. We're just looking for overs here. Reyes Jacoby. Did we come to a decision on that? It's plus money. The
Yeah,
over 2.5.
it sounded like it was. Most people thought it was gonna be a knockout, right?
Skip
Yeah,
it.
I do. All right, and then Raul Rosas versus Tercio. We're gonna take the over. Everybody was on that one. And then do we want the over 4.5 or not on a Imavov Cannonier?
Look, we leave that off because it's a main event and tricky shit, right? But if you really want to, you make the exact same parlay and throw the over on.
Listen here. Listen here. If we take the over on the Tercio fight, if we take the over on the De La Rosa, Butler, Gomes, Marcos, Lapilus, Santos fight, you're like, oh, that's crazy amounts of legs, 7 legs, bro. You're getting plus 1339 on that fucking parlay. That's on our site at Low Vig because they've got all the rounds posted. I'm sure there might be another book or two where you can get it all, but everything reports over on our site. We got 40 books reporting, and right now Low Vig's giving us all the over unders. So yeah, if you were at Low Vig right now, you could get almost plus 1,400 to take them overs. That's a good ass lay to me, man. I'm gonna really play that lay when I log into my shit. I'm really taking that, or something very very close to it based on the picks that I wrote down.
What
Cade
what did you say those odds were?
plus 1339 at Low Vig right now.
I got plus 1328 and I'm locking in.
Yeah, that's fucking savage. Where are you at? What book are you at?
Bet online.
Yeah, that's nice right there. Oh shit, I said yeah. Oh, it is Low Vig. It is Low Vig. I don't know why I thought it was the other book. Cade, nice to see you in the room and on the mic, bud. Been a while. What you got?
What's up, bro? What's up? Hey, what's the over on the Cannonier fight?
Over 4.5 is minus 160.
Oh shit. I don't know. I feel like that should go over, but I also feel like somebody could get finished in that fight too. I don't know though. I don't. It feels like a tricky fight in my opinion when it comes to that over under stuff.
Oh yeah, it's that one we're gonna skip. That's not even in
Cause
our list. So.
yeah, cause I was gonna say cause Cannonier's coming off that injury, so who even knows how he recovered from that or anything.
Man, oh man, what do I got going over here? I'm sorry, I'm looking at something on our website on the dev page. Something is wrong on the development page, but it's not front page. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that one's one that you have to play. I wrote it as a skip on my list. I'm not playing anything on it anywhere. So that's it. Anybody got any hot takes they want to get out on this card before we cap it? Wonderful. All right, we're gonna cap the card out. We're at hour 49 dead picks for whatever that's worth. I'll get that in the recordings tomorrow. Last thing we do in here is we like to do recent fight announcements. Again, and I say it all the time, this is my favorite segment of the week. We get to talk about all the actual bouts that were announced. There's no heat. There's no agreed bouts. There's no on the internet. There's no real beefs that we haven't already talked about. So it's straight fight announcements tonight. Usman, awaken my Usman. See that shit, bro? I got you right, Blonde Olives.
Wow.
He does this segment for us. So what you got on fight announcements, Usman?
So the day after we did it last week on Wednesday, we had some three bangers here, and we haven't talked about them officially. So co-main event, 5 rounds, Vicente Luque versus Nick Diaz at UFC Abu Dhabi, August 3rd.
You
Got a
know my
hand
hand
up.
went up. All right,
Boo.
so here's I said this in the cash or trash, and we didn't touch on it too much. I've been waiting to say this. We I believe we are now seeing the UFC realize. Yeah, I don't know how to word it. There's some name value. on Nick Diaz. The UFC can release him if they want to, right? But when it was Bellator is the retired UFC league and PFL are the guys trying to make it, the UFC didn't have to give a shit. Now that those leagues are one place and some people can move some needles, the UFC has to look at, guys who can exceptionally move that needle. Nick Diaz in the UFC 2024, he is a fight night headline, in my opinion. He's nothing more. But if you put him over in the PFL, if you let him go and you put him over in the PFL and they can promote him, they're going to put their whole machine behind him because it's all they have. They're going to get his brother involved somehow, and they're going to turn it into a huge event for themselves. So I think we are seeing guys, because I feel the same way about Tony Ferguson. He's a fucking joke, but they still take him and they'd still pump him. And they'd make him look better than the UFC does. So we're now seeing guys who have contracts with the UFC who are saying, nope, you owe me fights. I want to fight. Give me fights or let me go. And I think Nick Diaz kind of made them give him a fight. That's my opinion, and I'm not mad at him. Anybody think I'm crazy?
Nah, the annoying part is that it is Vicente Luque, but I'm not gonna have my nose too up in the air, because one thing that annoyed me, and I get it, we all would have wanted to see Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Go back freaking for the past year in these spaces, I've been saying this is the fight to make: Nick Diaz, Tony Ferguson. So does it suck we don't get to see it? Of course. But now people are complaining about old heads versus old heads. Just 2 years ago, everybody was complaining about we put our old heads up against new young talent to make them rise. The fan base will never be happy. I understand Nick Diaz versus Tony was right there, but hey, I'm just glad to see old men fight. That's just me, though.
Um, Vicente Luque is like becoming the Grim Reaper, right? The
You
dude on the
mean
way.
that? Yeah, I was gonna say the Grim Reaper's coming for Vicente Luque, if that's what you mean.
No. I don't mean it like he knocks people out. I just mean like, is it? Am I tripping, or is he kind of becoming the guy that a lot of these dudes are going to retire fighting? He's just going to keep fighting, and they're going to give him all these names that he never got to, and he's going to take them because he never got a Nick Diaz or a Robbie Lawler. I don't think he didn't fight. He didn't fight Robbie, but he fought Nico Price. Like, I don't know. I feel like Vicente is becoming that guy who's just fighting all these really old heads.
Oh,
Um,
it's funny that you brought up Nico Price. I know they'd fought before, but I was gonna say the Nico Price and the Morono that we saw last week in their last fight, they are fighting Vicente Luque. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, they're next. That's what's next for him. We already know. Anyways, bro, what you got next?
Directly after that, we've got Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez, same card, UFC Abu Dhabi, August 3rd. For people that swing that way or want to just talk about that, yes, this is Battle of the Hotties.
You said Macy Barber and Mackenzie Dern.
No, Mackenzie Dern and Lupi Godinez.
So
Oh,
me, first off the top of my head, man, I feel like that's Mackenzie Dern's spot. I feel like she probably definitely get the submission there.
I don't think so. I got Loopy in that one.
that's a
Man, we've seen over and over again. Lupi makes terrible decisions in some of her fights.
yeah. I was muted. My bad. I'm a little. I don't care enough to take a side. I'm probably going to dig into the over under and decide what I want on that. Cade, get after it, bud.
Yeah, when it comes to that fight, I think the difference maker is like I don't feel that Loopy really has to go to the ground with Dern. I just feel like I mean, because Dern's takedowns, like to me, aren't all that great, and I feel like if the fight's standing, it favors Loopy just because I feel like she has better boxing. I feel like her boxing has been getting better and better each fight with I think what is it, Grasso's dad that trains her. So I don't know. I feel like she's just the better
Yeah,
on
but
the feet.
Wouldn't you agree that most of her fights happen against the cage with her pushing up against the fence? We've seen her as soon as they get to the fence, she's somehow manages to snake herself and get to the back of most of these girls. That's how she beat Tisha Torres. Like, it was basically just taking the back off the cage and getting takedowns. So, yeah, the boxing is kind of a newer aspect that she's showing in her fight game. So it could be honestly a big part of it. But we also know that Stern isn't scared of getting taken down, so she throws those big punches with big power. And yeah, crazy shit happens whenever you're getting hit in the face as hard as you can by somebody.
I was gonna say, bingo, Cade. You're right on the target. But you also got to factor that Lupi Godinez is dumb enough to go for takedowns. And like I said, my biggest thing with Lupi is she always wants to outmuscle you and show you that she's a bully. And there, you can definitely see her going for a takedown just for the fuck of it, especially up against the fence.
Yeah, she's not going to outstrike Dern. Even if she does, Dern can take a fucking punch. Man, I feel like we've seen her just get fucking beat up and just keep coming forward. I faded her a lot, but I do feel like she can take a punch.
Last thing is that if we do somehow end up on the ground, Loopy has strong as fuck hips, and she always uses them to leverage and get back up, and but that puts her on her knees and her back to be taken. So very very scary there. But let's talk about something even scarier. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa at UFC Abu Dhabi, August 3rd. That's the thing with this fight. It's like Michael Chiesa has already talked about retirement like two, three times. I feel like cool. Dana White did say when he announced this that this is more than likely Tony's retirement fight. Is it his retirement from the UFC? Probably, definitely not his retirement fight. Going once, going twice, going three times because I don't want to hear y'all shitting on Tony.
I was going to say Tony goes to BKFC, baby. Connor's going to give him a contract. Let's go.
Ooh, you think Tony versus Mike Perry and BKFC? I'll take it.
Uh,
McNuggets?
I
Tony
don't want to
would
Oh,
see
die
that.
McNuggets?
against Mike. No, 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 no,
You guys
no,
are
bro. No, no,
disgusting,
no, no,
man.
no. Not Mike Perry. Tony will die against
I
Mike
do
Perry.
not want to see Tony fight Mike Perry.
But
About to say, man, you guys are literally trying to sanction a murder. You guys have no shame.
bunch of bitch asses in this chat. Alonzo Menafield versus Azamat Mirzakhanov, UFC Abu Dhabi, August 3rd.
Oh,
Skip.
yeah.
Woo! Let's go to something we all really want to talk about. Casey O'Neill versus Teresa Bleda, UFC 305, August 17th.
Well, they're really trying to get Casey O'Neill a win, huh?
They're like, listen.
Woo!
They're like, listen, we're running out of people here.
I was gonna skip on to the next one, but that got me a laugh. Good one, good one. This is definitely gonna be a banger at Elevation. UFC Denver, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov. Although Salikov probably looks like he's 54, these guys are somewhere around the same age at like 39, I believe.
Bro, these
Isn't Muslim
dudes.
Salikov like 42?
No, he only looks like he's 63.
So
Yeah.
you're telling me they're
That's like
sending.
that's a retirement home fight.
You're telling me they're sending two 55-year-old men to fight at Elevation?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be slobby.
Over, over, over. Dude, them dudes ain't gonna be able to breathe. I'm 42 years old. Fuck that. I'm not. My cousin's like, come out for my wedding at Elevation. Fuck off. Not going. So just letting you know. Fuck that.
Another given over, I would believe. Abdul Karim Al Sawadi versus Guram Kutateladze at UFC Abu Dhabi, August 3rd.
Man, look at you trying to kill that name.
Yo, he definitely killed it. He pronounced both those right. Good shit.
Yeah, hey, this ain't no white man. I'm a Mexican from the Valley, bro. I'm getting names right.
Nah,
I
bro,
got
he's
money
got a
on Kareem
laptop.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Bro, he's got a fucking iPad with an earpiece that he taps the name and it says it to him right before he says it. Don't let him front.
Joe, I can't constantly be making fun of you getting names wrong and then come out here and go Abdili Karimi Salwar versus Garami Kutitite. Like, I gotta get it
I want
right.
I want you to know
I got money on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I want you to know that I do get some of them wrong on accident, but I do get some of them wrong because I just don't care. Anyways, what's next?
The opponent for Ikram Alaskarov fell off of UFC Vegas 93, so he's got a replacement with Antonio Tricoli. We saw him on Dana White Contender Series last year.
Yeah, that'll probably be an okay fight. I'm not gonna act like I'm super versed on Tricoli, but I seen that one come across the feed. That'll be an okay fight.
And last year, it's been a slow week. Andre Petrosky versus Josh Fremd.
Mm,
Oh, that's a step down in competition there.
yeah, it is. Okay, I'm not.
That should be Petrosky for sure.
Yeah, but you don't think Frem get the fucking sub?
I don't know. He talked shit to me on Twitter one time. He sucks.
Yeah, I remember that. Fuck him. I hope he loses. Cade.
Before you close it out, I have two questions. I'm pretty sure I missed these subjects. There's no way in hell you guys didn't talk about this. But one was Dustin Poirier's performance. Was that the best you could fight? Is that the best fight you could possibly fight against Islam? Like, do you think that's like probably the best performance we're gonna see against Islam? And then two, uh, how the fuck do you refund all these people that paid thousands of dollars for International Fight Week and are probably not even going to get the fight that they paid for?
Especially when Ticketmaster's in a class action lawsuit right now because they never give people their money back. They do the refund, but they keep it in your account and then it gets voided after a certain amount of time. So
Yeah,
if you
but not
bought them,
even that. But like the basic package for like the VIP shit was like what, 8 grand?
yeah, so they give all these people their money back, right? And then they're like, "Oh, you can rebuy it." The problem is if you're not one of those VIP people, you may not get your shit again. You may get dumped into that pool and not be able to get anything good or get what you wanted or get anything at all. So it's a shit show. Good luck to them. That I
Yeah,
mean,
because
and I'm
Chandler, I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on. I mean, they canceled the press conference. Chandler left his camp in South Florida to go back to Tennessee. Like it's pretty obvious. Like the fight's not gonna probably happen.
yeah, Adam Castrol, in his show or whatever this morning, he said that he was getting ready to leave. He was already talking to people that were in Ireland, in Dublin, other reporters, and then he got word, he got messages, don't come, postponed, whatever. And he got messages direct because he had scheduled interviews with Chandler and McGregor for one-on-ones, and those were canceled. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. So why would they cancel the Chandler interview too? Like, why both? If one guy's got a problem, even if it's something out of their control that's not an injury, um, yeah, I don't know how that looks. Conor McGregor probably popped dirty. Ozzy said it earlier. He may have done it independently. He's probably got his own testers looking at his stuff. I think that's a really good take because I've been thinking that they may know he's hot. But I didn't even think of the aspect like his private testing could have already told him that, and Ozzy said that. So, yeah, I think it's done. That's just my opinion. Dead pick.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but even if Connor was hot, I mean, wouldn't the UFC just fucking keep it under wraps? I mean,
Uh,
this their guy. This is their golden boy, their
They're
baby
gonna keep
boy.
it under
Their
wraps. This is how they keep it under wraps, in my opinion. Say he
Yeah, he
got
gets
hurt.
private testing and then pulls from the fight. He can tell them why without them suspending him. If he, it's a who knows? Who fucking knows? We can be at it for
that
hours.
right. No, I'm saying no. I just want to give credit to Ozzy on that one though, because when he said it, my ears were perking up, and I was like, you know what, this could make some sense. But at the end of the day, man, yeah, it's all debatable. Debatable, I guess. So But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Ozzy on that one.
All right, so we're going to mark that at 206. I had a few things from 302 I wanted to talk about. We're not going to make a big segment of it. I figure we'll ramble on for 10 or 15 minutes and then probably not much more than that. So I'm going to cut back to that. UFC 302 just ended. Dana White said John Jones is pound for pound. You all heard the quote. I'm just gloating. I just want to point that out. I will say this though, Dana, if you're hot and he needs to sell you and you need to be the man, yep, Dana will put you up in that pound for pound. He had no problem that he voiced with Islam or Volk being up there before when John was protesting. So I just think it's one of those things. Dana needs to prove that John's the best heavyweight in the world. Dana feels like, he hasn't said it, but we all know Dana feels like whoever has the best heavyweight in the world is winning. You know, we know that shit. So baddest man on the planet complex. So whatever. Alexander Volkanovski wants to fight DP. Any thoughts?
I think DP puts that boy to sleepy.
Yeah, he beat Dustin Poirier will beat the dog fuck out of Volkanovski. He'll change him. He'll change him, in my opinion.
And,
If Islam didn't, he will.
and that's
Bro,
exactly what I need to see. So make that fight.
bro, you're talking about a fucking BJ Penn skid. You fucking feed that man, bro. You're talking about a BJ Penn skid after that. We seen what just happened to him, then what just happened to him. We already seen it and then seen it. You give that man to Dustin Poirier, fuck, that's gonna be tough. Sean Strickland wants a title fight. He deserves it. He beat the shit out of the champion, lost his belt in a very controversial decision. Um, Took on a guy who's actually Paulo Costa's only like number 7 in the rankings or something. Fought way down when he's number 1. He absolutely 100% deserves the next title shot. If they let Izzy jump the line, I think it's bullshit. But Izzy versus DDP sells, and Sean versus the winner in a rematch also sells. So the biggest money path for the UFC with that triangle of guys, in my opinion, is Izzy versus DDP, winner versus Strickland. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Anybody think I'm wrong there? Anybody think it won't go that way?
I think it all depends on the Robert Whitaker Chimaev fight. And I'm usually against monkey wrenches in the whole division shit, but God, I really want Robert Whitaker to win so that this division is even more shit.
Yeah, but even if Chimaev wins, it's not like he's going to turn right around. So, he'll fight in 2025. Got it.
Very true.
Got it. 2025. Woohoo! He'll fight for the number 1 title or the number 1 contender spot, and then in 2026 he'll probably get a title shot or something. I don't know. Fuck that guy.
Even more why we need Robert Whitaker to win.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. He never fights. Donald Trump and Khabib Nurmagomedov had an interaction that I didn't see go very viral, but I did see the clip where someone was able to get voice on it. Khabib paid Trump a compliment, more or less, saying that I know you'll stop the wars. And Trump said, I will. And, it just went from there. I just think I only want to bring that up because Khabib was in a position where he could walk right up to Trump, where he could talk to him, where he's talking to him about political things, and that's okay. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm telling you guys, Khabib is that guy in Dagestan. His father was that guy, and he is becoming that guy. Everything that goes in and out of Dagestan will go through him. If it doesn't already, but give it another 10 years and everything will go through him. I believe that. I believe he's a very political person, and I think Islam will be his colonel, captain, and whatever the fuck it'll be. Usman.
Bro, you didn't see what did go viral from that moment? That meme of of Khabib asking Trump,
Absolutely. Brother,
brother,
how you
how do
avoid
you pay
taxes?
taxes?
How you don't pay taxes? I was fucking dying. I seen that shit. That was that's probably the best meme of the weekend. Fuck, maybe one of the best ones of the year in MMA. I was fucking dying. I literally laughed my ass off when I seen that one. All right, not much more here. Judge Chris Lee gave Dustin Poirier's round 2 and 4. How does everybody feel about that? It was 2-2 going into the fifth.
So watching it live, um, I had it 4-1. I mean 4-0 for Islam, but the 2 and 4 were those where I was really, it was right there on the line, and I was texting my homies, and they were like, "Oh man, I think that was a Poirier round," and I was like, I can see why you'd give it to him, but for me, it was still Islam. He did good on the feet. He got takedowns. I'm not mad at a 2-2 going into the fifth.
I know Trace usually tapers down at the end here to let me get through this shit, but Trace, I'm very curious to see how you feel about this one. He ain't there.
Yeah, man. I'm a huge Islam fan. I'm a huge Dustin fan. People, I mean, you've been around, you kind of know. But I was very realistic with myself on what this fight was probably going to be, and honestly, Dustin impressed me a lot, man. I think him realizing that the takedown defense in the open was going to be the way to go to stay away from the fence. That really, honestly, doesn't really have a power double. He is mostly get you to the fence and take you down from there. So I thought he looked good. I thought he looked, way better than people expected. If you remember right at the before the fight started, I dropped into the group chat. What are the chances that Dustin makes it all 5 rounds? Because I was considering playing the Islam decision prop. Because I thought, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Dustin. I did end up playing it, but obviously it didn't pay out for me. But yeah, I thought Dustin won one round for sure. I don't recall which round it was, but thought that there was a 1 or 2 rounds that were up in the air. But I largely had it going for Islam going into the final fifth round. I didn't think that there was really a chance where the fifth round was up. I thought it was going to be. Yeah, maybe it was the fifth round. I thought that he had a chance that he was kind of taking it, but I remember thinking it was 3-1 going into the fifth.
Yeah, it was 4. I would assume you gave him 4. He looked good in 4, in my opinion. I just make an assumption there. I will say that. So in that fight, the other 2 judges, Eric I don't know how to say Eric Collin, and Sal Diamato. Sal gave Dustin 4, and Eric gave Dustin 2. So even though it wasn't 2 scorecards that were, gave it to him, 2 judges gave him 2 and 2 judges gave him 4. Live watching it, I felt like Dustin got 4. Look, I thought, maybe he put something together in the fifth, and I thought 2 was very questionable. I had expressed that to my friends that were here. Not to the point where I was like, oh, Dustin got it. I'm just like, man, because my premise was I was saying to my friends based on the scorecards we had seen rolling in all night. Last subject I got here is Dave Torelli. I felt like the writing was on the wall. I felt like they were kind of telling us, like, listen, if Dustin makes it to decision, he's getting it. And I know the cards didn't even reflect that going into the fifth, but that was how I felt. So I felt like he had 4, and I felt like 2 was very, very questionable. And I leaned that they would have given him 2 because I really felt like it is what it is. When I say they were telling us they were going to give it to him, I want to be clear. I'm not saying I think it was rigged. I'm just saying, like, that's how they're judging. They're looking at it much differently. I'm a guy who says, if you want to know how Sal D'Amato scores a fight, just ask me. I'll tell you. And most of the time, I'm aligned with Sal. You guys know that. So, um, you know, I'm not, so Sal's gonna tell you how he's gonna score that fight every time. He's told us. He don't need to tell us anymore, right? They were telling us that night how this was gonna go. So, yeah, I wasn't crazy surprised to see the 2-2 card. I think I was more surprised that it wasn't two judges that had it 2-2 going into it. Islam wants to go up to 170 now. So here's my question. Show of hands, I guess. Who thinks he's actually ducking Islam or ducking Gamrot and ducking Armin? Because I'm gonna say if Gamrot only had a limited amount of time to work with Dustin, because it's coming out now, Eve Edwards is saying there was no grappling for the last 3 weeks of camp because Dustin's ribs got hurt. So if Gamrot was able to take Dustin to that level from where we know where he was before, I'm not saying like he took a rookie. That's not what I'm saying. But if he was able to get Dustin to that level to shake Islam, bro, he told the blueprint to Dustin and Dustin did it. What you think Gamrot's going to do? Gamrot sees the blueprint. I'm not saying Gamrot's the greatest. He sees that blueprint. He found it. Gamrot's got the blueprint. He's not fighting Gamrot, in my opinion. Get in on it, Usman.
Gamrot cardio's that boy. I've been telling you the gamer is the GOAT. But yeah, he's not making that fight. He Islam is being smart, and he's probably gonna move up to 170.
I'll be honest. I think moving up to 170 poses several easier paths to a 170 title than defending against Armin or Gamrot. I feel like it would be more difficult for him to defend against them guys than it would be to move up. I'm being honest. Cade, get after it, bud. Everybody listening, because this will get chopped up on our YouTube, and we've been getting pretty good views, man. Thank you again, everybody. Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, a couple thousand followers over there. Thank you, everybody that listens. Cade is with Cage Side Press. We love these guys. Him and Eddie Law come in here all the time. Anyways, Cade, get after it, bud.
Man, the styles to me make fights. Like and I think Gamrot, his cardio, like his wrestling, all that stuff, like he probably would be a good little decent fight for Islam for sure. I just Dustin did a really good job just with his this is what I want to say though. Like Islam to me looks very beatable compared to like Khabib. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, right? Because Islam,
No,
it
they don't
feels,
fight the same, bro. They don't fight the same at all. So
but
that's not crazy.
it just feels like Islam can get beat. Like Dustin in that fight, like I never thought for 1 second he was winning the fight, but I didn't think for 1 second that he was completely out of that fight either.
You started thinking he could rock him, didn't you? You
Yeah,
started
because it's
wondering,
like, yeah, because he couldn't take him down at one point, and then it was like he was standing in the pocket with Dustin Poirier. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Then and I was telling my pops this. I'm like, if Dustin would just let his hands go a little bit more, like, who knows what could happen? Like, Islam standing in the pocket with him. So I
well,
don't
the
know.
blueprint was shown. The blueprint for putting Islam in the middle of the octagon and literally just shaking him down your body to prevent the fucking takedown, stuffing him from neck side. Bro, that blueprint was laid. Them boys are all gonna do it. And it's not the same as Khabib. It wouldn't work on Khabib. That's not gonna be an argument. Khabib literally fucking grabbed you and he would cling on to you. He didn't care where he was in the octagon. He would just lay on you if he couldn't beat you up, and like a fucking python snake, and just squeeze on you until he could start wearing you down. That's not what Islam does. The blueprint was laid. I don't even think Islam's going to have the success up at 170 that he thinks he's going to have. To be honest, it was laid. We've been through this before, and we know that that's a real thing. When somebody comes in and shows how it's done, we can see it. I and we see it. We see the next guy or the guy after him impose that strategy and get it done. Dominic Reyes is not good, and we can see that. But he was able to take the strategy of 15 people and his coach having 6 runs at John Jones and accumulate everything and try to put together a game plan for John Jones. Same thing. These boys see that plan. It's over for him.
Now, Well,
Go
Joe, I
ahead.
wanted to ask you a question real quick. Dustin keeps saying he's out of this title picture. You think he has one more run in him? I mean, like it's just like he just fought the best guy at 155 and he looked great.
Islam would have to lose this summer. He would have to lose the belt this summer. Dustin will not get another title fight against Islam.
Yeah. Okay. No, I can
But
agree with that.
if Islam gets that fight, because Islam said he doesn't want to wait for Abu Dhabi, he wants to fight before that. He wants oh no, he said he wants to fight after that. He wants Madison Square Garden. I think he said it's his dream. But if he gets choked up and gets beat or knocked out or whatever, maybe. But I think Dustin should keep his head high. I think we should only see him fight one or two more times when he is the main event or co-main event of a massive card, fighting massive names. I love the guy. He should make a couple $1,000,000 every time he gets in there, and he should sail off into the sunset. Usman.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, hey, Cade, you always got an open mic on Sunday show, bro. We talked a lot about the 302 and Dustin Poirier and all that, and I said I don't think he's done, and I don't think he's out of a title picture yet. It's gonna have to be the perfect circumstance.
No, I appreciate you, brother. I've been super busy with school, man. It's almost done though. This summer course, man. These summer courses I'm taking, so I should be back in here more often.
That's good though, bro. Get that shit done. Good for you. I remember you taking some courses before it took your time, bro. That's good for you. I'm gonna push along a little bit here. Dave Torelli, kind of same topic though. Dave Torelli, Mitch Raposo, and Andre Lima. He scored it for Raposo rounds 1 and 2. The other judges gave all 3 rounds to Lima. His scorecard going into the third was flip opposite. Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, all the judges. Well, I shouldn't say all the judges. So Chris Lee scored it 5 rounds for Strickland. Sal D'Amato gave Costa round 1 and gave the next 4 to Strickland. Dave Torelli gave rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4 to Paulo Costa. So 2 horrible cards in everybody's opinion.
He also gave Eileen Perez a 30-27 when she did not win that third round.
Okay. I will say this: he was on 7 of those fights, so 2 of them we got real problems with. That other one, I would say that's he was against the grain. I can't really recall that round off the top of my head. So here's the thing: this is the greatest part about our sport. Fuck you guys. I'm not mad. He shouldn't get to judge anymore. But haha, shit happens. If one of them would have lost a fight because of it, I mean, I'm not wishing nothing bad on fighters, but I wouldn't feel bad about it. Like, this is the sport. This is what it is. I don't want robots, androids, or fucking AIs scoring fights. Yeah, it could happen so easily, man. Everybody in here let Microsoft develop. Not me, honestly. I didn't have one, but I'm guessing most of you guys, or at least half of you guys, had Xboxes, and some of you guys had that thing that plugged into the front of the fucking Xbox so you could move it with your hand and play all those games with no hand. Well, what that thing really did is Microsoft built software that can recognize skeletal movement on any human beings, and that was like big development for them. So it's possible they can watch the movement at like levels beyond the AI can watch it at levels beyond our eyes can. They've got cameras set up all the way around the ring now, so they can do those 360 views, and probably so Oculus can get in there, like I've been telling you guys. So they could push it there. I don't want it there. Yeah, this guy's a little egregious, but fuck it. I'm smiling and I'm laughing. I'll take it. This is our sport. That's my take on that. That's all I got for tonight. If anybody's got any topics they want to hit or anything they want to bring up real quick before we go, feel free to get after it. Outside of that, I'm going to do the plugs and close it out. All right. We're going to close it out. So if you're still listening, we really appreciate you guys being in here. Our YouTube has picked up quite a bit. Facebook is picking up some. Rumble is getting moving. That's a really rough start over there. We got no momentum, no smoke, no shares. We just post our videos over there. And it's growing, though, you know. Every week it's a few more and it's a few more. Our Twitter videos, you know, same shit we're putting on YouTube, but over here on X, we're getting good views. Our spaces are getting really good views. They're getting it on every format. So we want to thank everybody. And if you don't follow us everywhere, follow us fucking everywhere. We got a TikTok, but really the one we're focusing on right now is the YouTube, man. I'm trying to put out some really good content, really good shorts. The guys are all getting into it. They're putting out fight highlight reels and starting to get into the shorts. We've done in the last 48 hours we've done like 60,000 views, so we're fucking killing it over there. 50,000 in like the past week. It's 70,000, so the past few days have been real good for us. So we appreciate everybody being over there. It's likes, shares, and follows. Thank you, everybody. That's Tuesday Night Space. Usman comes back Sunday. We don't really stream that one live. We usually get it posted to our YouTube page later. But he does cash or trash. He reviews all the cards, does it from a betting point of view. He comes with really good info about his betting strategy, odds, what cashed, what we missed, what we hit, what we shouldn't have played, what we did play. He really kills it over there. He does do some review of the card, but he moves it along really nice. I've actually been paying him compliments in our chat. Ozzy's in here. Ozzy does a bunch of spaces. He's a good follow. Better Times is he's officially part of our card breakdown, or at least for right now, he is. We really appreciate him coming in here. And Cage Side Press, Dead Picks at Tech, my two co-hosts, Usman and Trace. CapMMA.com, Parlay Calculator, news. I'm just going to go on and keep going until I hit the end button, boys. Thank you, everybody.